on the two-run single by Yordan Alvarez.
Pitch to Tellez. A high drive, deep right field. That is way up the bleachers and gone for Tellez. And the Brewers are on the board. 26th of the season for Rowdy Tellez.
3 balls and a strike to the leadoff man, Lars Nootbaar. He swings and hits it deep. Right field. That's going to go. A home run. Leading off the game for Lars Nootbaar.
1-0. And there's a fly ball to right. Going back is Anderson. He's at the wall and it's gone. A home run. When your 8 and 9 hitters are power producers like Gallo and Bellinger, the Dodgers, a 2-run shot here in the second.
First pitch to Kenna. That's driven in the air. That's deep to left. Bierling is back near the wall toward the corner. It is gone! Home run! Marcana ties the game! It's a 3-run homer in the top of the 7th. And the Mets have come back from a large deficit for the second time today.
Yeah, we've been training for that for a while. Every time we get a chance, we put people up, and Whip likes to call a game from the sideline, so it's good. I think it's going to help if I'm not staring at a play sheet. I can watch the defense more and see if I see things and try to be a help to him. But we're going to try to have guys up that can give us as much information as we need to get in the right play and make adjustments.
Where did we find this?
Across the pond, boys.
Good morning. It is finally game week with a twinge of four-leaf clover and the Emerald Isle mixed in. Finally, we have a football game, Damon. We are 5 days away. We have made it, or at least we're on the road to making it to the start of the season. It's time. We got an appetizer this past weekend, and now we get the real deal on Saturday morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's long overdue.
Oh, my gosh. We
overdue.
We need a game around here in the worst way, and we're going to get one.
How about the crazy thing is Nebraska's early. Just imagine if, like, there was another week. Obviously, they would have started later, a week later, but still, like, we're week 0,
I know.
and it's still time for a game.
I know.
Way too much talking. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes, and I guess it's like this a lot of other places, but just the consternation, the hand-wringing. They're going back and forth between fans on media, blame, people thinking that I don't know, man.
That's why we need a game, and we're going to get a game.
Individual accountability. What could I do different to not feel the way that I do about this particular situation? Doesn't always have to be somebody else's fault.
No, you can control everything. That's not that, like the thing with Scott. I mean, there are people that are waiting to pounce on him, especially if Saturday doesn't go the way that Nebraska wants it to go. And how does he respond to that? When he's backed into a corner, does he come out fighting? Does he, ever change where he doesn't step on himself? Does he just, the easiest thing to do, and again, as much of a logistic wild part of this whole trip is becoming, I mean, just think about one thing we didn't get into with Jay Terry is all these guys have to have passports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have kids that probably never had a passport before. So you had to get passports. They got the extra equipment that got shipped ahead of time. They leave today. All of the nuts and bolts of the logistics that go into it, and the discussion about this being a business trip. There's going to be you can take it as an opportunity, not from the cultural part so much, but the opportunity that when that game kicks off at 11:30 Central on Saturday, and there's one game that starts 30 minutes before, it's Austin Peay in Western Kentucky. But a lot of people are going to tune in because it's the first game of the year. There's really nothing else going on Saturday. So you're going to be dialed in. You can seize it as a great opportunity to say, hey, things are a little bit different around here, and keep people engaged outside of the two respective fan bases so you can control the narrative for that 60 minutes of football window on Saturday when people are very much in doubt that you're going to be able to pull this off.
Yeah.
In a game which you're going to hear all week, hey, you're supposed to win. Computer says 78% you're supposed to win. Look at the spread. Okay. Then do something about it. Instead of fretting, okay, change the narrative.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting too, because I think for Nebraska, not even pressure. They get all the eyeballs. They're going to get all the eyeballs. I think even over there, it's a Nebraska thing, right? Whether it's to the good or to the bad. And so I think their focus is going to be important. I was pleasantly surprised, but not shocked over the captain's selection, I should say. Just because those personalities, I think, are exactly what this team needs. It's like I talked about Vokalek, and I listen. I know he's not for everybody in terms of rah-rah, but I've said this from the jump, right? That's the one guy that I would probably want to have the personality of my offense. He's endured. He's been there. He's not a blinker.
He don't give an F what we think.
Certainly doesn't.
Yeah.
Like he's just not a blinker, right? And then, 3 guys represented on the defense is a little heavy, but there are so many new guys on the offense. I'm thinking, I get it, right? It was really good to see Nick voted as a captain, because while people defer to him a ton, he's not one of those guys that beats his chest to come talk to us, and he's come a long way, had to endure, Garrett. I've been saying this for a couple of years. 2 summers ago, I used the term proud on there. I said, I'm proud of Caleb Tanner, how far he's come, because most people don't know the half of it.
Yeah.
Although Garrett did try to kind of dime him out a little bit. He wasn't being malicious when he called him a hot mess.
But you know what? Yeah, he told the story of where he was like 2 years ago.
Man. And I told you,
it sounds like Caleb Tanner was in a bad place.
Afternoon show, but the midday. But I was like, yeah, I just don't know how much he enjoys being here.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, 2 summers ago, it's like, oh, he's pretty dialed in. Then you see him last year in fall camp. You're like, that's his first full off season of being able to lift and get after it, and no nicks, no nothing. Like, and I was like, man, I'm almost proud of him. Then to see this, yeah, I mean, he's grown up quite a bit. He's a good embodiment of what college athletics is all about.
I think the turnaround from just the self is
well, I think you realize it's not just about him.
And he, you know what? And I said this to you last week after hearing John Cook speak, and they talk winning a lot. There were guys that talked about winning yesterday. We want to win. Casey Thompson hasn't been a winner. Casey Thompson hasn't been a winner in college. A lot of these guys that are in this football program haven't won.
Got an odd personality, doesn't
they? They want to win, yes. But Caleb Tanner becoming a captain, I think, is one of the storylines of this camp. Yeah. There's Tommy Hill making the jump up. There's Marcus Washington kind of erasing any doubts and grabbing that wide receiver 2 spot.
Yeah, he's become more than just a throw-in, right?
Yeah, and Caleb,
at least so far.
And Caleb Tanner becoming a captain, I think, is a major storyline, because maybe it pulls back the curtain of what this team is. Because I looked at the captains, and we thought it would be the 3 that went to Indianapolis and then pick somebody else. I didn't think they would go 2 and 2, just because
who went to Indianapolis again?
Newsome, Nelson, and Vokalek.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Q's got plenty of time to be a captain. I'm not surprised that there's only one guy on the offense, because who else would it be? If you're going by this is a player selection, let the players decide 10 days ago before you announced it on Saturday who the captains are. You went with this year who the players wanted. People may say, oh, why didn't the quarterback? Well, you know what? I haven't heard a guy stay up and praise Casey Thompson. Not knock him, but not praise him. And you know what? He just arrived. He might have got here in January, but he just arrived. I think the 4 captains, if they're selected by the players, that shows you a little bit of maybe what's different in that locker room, because aren't guys kind of leaking a little bit about last year wasn't so good
Yeah.
when they shut the doors to the locker room?
Almost too much so. But anyway.
Surprising.
Anyway, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, onward and upward. But, I think you're right about Casey. Personality-wise, I think that is what it is. He's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Businessy, right?
There's a lot of guys on that roster
very,
that
very businessy. I think
they came to Nebraska as a business decision.
And I don't know if you're going to get another offensive guy per se that embraces that.
Mm-hmm.
Like from a captain's standpoint. Well, I mean, what did we hear yesterday? Well, this guy and this guy has added some punch back to the offense. Because, for how many years did I say, I can't believe the defense just talks they just ran practice.
Yeah.
Is nobody going to say anything? You guys are just cool with getting punked constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So my heart, I wanted to see another offensive guy, but you can't manufacture that kind of leadership. Either it's in there or it isn't. You know what I mean? But I did think it was interesting where they were talking about, some new offensive guys, bringing some swag back to the offense, especially in the wide receiver room, but I mean, shoot, they got their own issues. They got to figure out in terms of to depth, and they got about 4 days to do it.
Yeah, they do. I think this is treated, as Nebraska practices today and then they leave tonight. It's kind of treated like a Super Bowl trip from the standpoint of, look at all the Super Bowl teams get everything done at their home facility before they ever head to the Super Bowl site.
That's what we were saying. This is a fine tuning week.
Yeah, you all your work should be done. Now it's just reps of things you're going to do. You're not going to be installing anything when you get to Dublin. I mean, that's crazy to think that you'd be doing that you could keep guys dialed in. So you've either won or lost this football game, I think, for the most part in the last 3.5 weeks of how you prepared mentally and physically to go and play a game in a foreign country where there will be some players that go, what are we doing here? Why are we playing this game? Why is this so odd? Why do we have all these different logistics and all these checkpoints we have to go through? But 36,000 are expected on Saturday. It's finally here. It's game day. Aren't you running into people now, or at least I am, that are either there or are going that I'm like, wow, there might be more Nebraska fans than I think are going?
I don't know. I mean, you got to get to 9,000, right? That's a lot if you're just talking locally.
Maybe people are just like, hey, last second we're going to go to Dublin. They're expecting 36,000. The weather's supposed to be good for a late afternoon, early evening kickoff.
If 9,000 folks have purchased tickets, that would be, we don't know 9,000 people.
So what I'm thinking is there may be more that have gone on their own instead of buying it through Nebraska or a travel site. But still, 36,000 is light.
You're talking about at the game?
At the game.
Yeah. That sounds right, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little let down, but I get it. It's Nebraska, Northwestern, and people over in Ireland get to see what punting is all about in the Big Ten. Maybe not. There is, I got a picture from a friend yesterday that has arrived. There is I'm calling bars, a place called a pub.
Is it a pub?
A pub called Fitzgerald's.
Yeah.
That is near the stadium. He said, is this a bad omen? And I said, well, you should get them to change the name before the game. But they have Nebraska flags hanging outside of it.
Nice.
He said there are a lot of Nebraska flags. Like people over there are smart. They want your money.
Yeah, there were a couple of people in particular that said there were 2 or 3 pubs that had gone out of their way. Like even their staff will be wearing Nebraska gear, which is a good thing.
Smart. Take our money. We'll take a victory. You take our money. All right. Coming up on the show today, as we kick off game week ahead of Nebraska and Northwestern and week 0. Am I allowed to say week 0? People got upset when I said week 0 last week about high school.
Everybody gets mad about everything.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
God, do we need a game?
It's just, I think sometimes people are just idiots. Game, no game. I just think people's temperament is what it is. Some people are just combative by nature.
Coming up a little bit later, his weekly stop by, Scott Shanley will be in. Maybe by then, Tom Brady will be back in Tampa Bay. Gosh, I really want the Masked Singer story to be true. because that would just be fantastic. But Todd Bowles said he'll return early this week, maybe as early as today. Doesn't it surprise you? Or maybe not. There haven't been like pictures of him in the Bahamas with his family or
Banned somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Maybe he's not out and about.
So Scott,
I mean, if you're going to mysteriously not be at minicamp, I highly doubt you'd be visible in the public eye. Maybe he's just at the house hanging out.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe he is with the Masked Singer. Please let that be true.
Somebody would know.
Coming up, Scott Shanley, and then Jimmy Watkins will stop by as well with his thoughts ahead of Nebraska and Northwestern coming up on Saturday with an 11:30 kick. All right, we'll take a break. If you want to get in early on the game week, we'll talk about everything, all the different storylines, because we'll talk about Northwestern as well, the weird path that Northwestern is on, where they win the division, then they finish last. They win the division, then they finish last. What do you get from Northwestern this year? Maybe better to get them now than where this game is usually played in October. 951-1620. You can always email us into the Equitable Bank inbox, Gary or Damon at 1620thezone.com, or on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at Gary Sharp 1620, at Damon Benning. It is Red Out Week. It is a lot of stuff going on here on the radio station to get you ready for Nebraska and Northwestern, and it's all brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. When we come back, so Friday night was the kickoff to the football season around here at Burke, Bellevue West, and Prep. We have thoughts, and I hope we have something established that game becomes the norm every single year, because that was quite the atmosphere on Friday night. I mean, you could have had your own Super Six, by the way, photo shoot in the end zone, I noticed.
Yeah, there were a lot of
celebrities that showed up, weren't there?
Yeah, a lot of good players in attendance, too.
You know what? We need to keep this a thing. We'll discuss what we saw on Friday night with all of you, plus more on some of the things that came out of yesterday's media availability for Nebraska that heads to a business trip to Dublin, Ireland on Sharp and Betting in the morning to kick off a game week on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
And this is, again, conditional, but if Nebraska's on a roll, then all of a sudden this game moves way up. Purdue, I think, is a legitimate division contender, even though not a lot of people are picking them. But the history, too. Jeff Brom has kind of had Scott Frost's number. I get it. There's still this mental block about it. Oh, it's only Purdue. Well, it's not only Purdue. Purdue has been really good against Nebraska.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Watch out for patchy dense fog during the morning drive Monday. Most fog should lift by around 9 a.m. Then sunny and warm conditions the rest of the day with a light southeast breeze. Highs around 87. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Type 7 Traffic Center. 80 and 680 are flowing smoothly. There's nothing happening on L Street other than the mounds of construction going on JFK. There's nothing to report there. And Dodge is all green lights. My name's Conrad. This has been your morning traffic.
This time-saving traffic was brought to you by Fernando's.
Thanks, Omaha. Thanks for voting Fernando's #1 for Omaha's Choice Awards for Best Mexican Restaurant and Best Margarita. Grab a friend or the whole family and get your fix. 2 locations and open 7 days a week. Fernando's, family-owned and community-served.
1620 The Zone, live and local, broadcasting 6A to 6P in the Host Coffee Zone studio. Host Coffee, offering office break room refreshment services to Omaha and Lincoln metro area businesses. Discover a better break room solution for your office at sales@hostcoffee.net.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
Shop Lanaha's Garden Center for the best selection of fall color and seasonal decor. Mums, pumpkins, unique gourds, and more. Think fall, think Lanaha Nurseries. 192nd and Center.
The Ford truck lineup is purpose-built from the ground up, designed to be tough and productive. Crafted with high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and torture-tested high-strength steel frame with new tech to help you work smart and hard. The F-150, Ranger, and Maverick are built tough and ready to tackle whatever lies ahead. Hit the road in confidence and learn more about Ford trucks in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseFord.com, your trusted truck dealer since 1975. Woodhouse Ford.
Rock and country music's hardest hitters join forces. Five-Finger Death Punch. Brantley Gilbert. With special guest Corey Marks. November 30th, CHI Health Center, Omaha. On sale now at LiveNation.com. Five-Finger Death Punch's new album, Afterlife, out now. Five-Finger Death Punch and Brantley Gilbert, live.
Nebraska football has felt cursed these last couple decades.
A huge upset, 62 points.
Nebraska will have to look elsewhere for the man to replace Frank Solich.
But you can help to break the curse. August 25th at Haymarket Park with KLIN and 1620 The Zone. All ages are invited to this free event that will feature food, drinks, music from the Killigans, and of course, curse breaking. Join us Thursday as we break the curse.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Sharp and Betting in the Morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app.
Sharp Betting in the Morning, game week, everybody. Hello to everybody listening in Ireland who wants their Husker fix. It's 12:33 in the afternoon in Dublin, Ireland.
Couple pints in.
Yeah, some rounds of golf.
Couple holes in.
We live vicariously, I guess, through all of them. But Nebraska and Northwestern, 11:30 on Saturday. How great does that sound? We're now into game week. Yeah. It's no more of this like talking season. Because talking season kind of ended yesterday. I mean, we still got like 5 more days to grind before we get some game action. But talking season ended yesterday. There are a couple of media availabilities over in Ireland. But for the most part, it is game week. It is on. And the game will be carried on Fox. It'll be the debut of Jason Benetti, which is such a great hire for Fox.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic.
ESPN missed out on a huge opportunity to have him as the voice of Sunday Night Baseball, among the other stuff that he does, but he belongs to Fox, and him and Brock Hewart will be doing the call. I think they actually will be over there. I think they will be in Dublin, which would be fantastic.
They can afford it.
One thing I'm disappointed. I know this is a Northwestern home game. Wouldn't it be great for the visual when you're, rubbing your eyes at 11:30 on Saturday morning? Both teams are wearing their home uniforms, purple and against red.
Yeah,
that's just a me. That's a me thing.
It totally is. Like, you're going to get very little feedback from me. Anything meaningful on uniforms.
All right, we will discuss the guys that were in uniforms over at Burke on Friday night. The older Prep fan that got triggered by the all dark blue uniforms that Prep wore and their white helmets. We'll talk about. They do. So those are great looking uniforms, but Coach Young made the change to go with white helmets, and people got really upset from the traditional Prep helmet. And then they don't wear the uniforms that they wore Friday night very often. And he goes, yeah, there'll be some older Prep fans that'll be very upset. Those look great. Look great.
I did like the color scheme.
Yeah, 5,500 at Burke Stadium. Bell West beat Prep 28-21. We'll share thoughts on that in a moment. But let's kick off the week with Brian. Hello, B.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, B?
Hey, I'm happy that we got game week going on. Happy, I started off the week. real nice last night by watching the House of Incest. I mean, the House of Dragons. That was pretty good.
What you think of that episode, Brian?
I think it's a good show, but man, it's part of it kind of the way they treat women in the show kind of reminds me a little bit of why the Handmaid's Tale was created.
Wow. What a start to the week.
Trading your daughters off for kingdoms and stuff, and killing your wife just so, you in hopes that you have a son, and then the son dies. That's a wild,
Spoiler alert.
Wild series, David. I'm telling you.
Hey,
wild.
but wait, though. So what I was hearing was because I just started the regular GOT when I was in Dallas a month ago, like the regular Game of Thrones. So, I'm slogging my way through, and everybody said, "Oh, the last 3 seasons they were bad." I'm wondering what to expect from House of Dragons. Like, did any of the last, however the Game of Thrones went, affect how you felt about House of Dragons?
No, I actually like it because I like to dig into the family tree and stuff to make it interesting. So to see the story behind it. But I can, relate it to stuff that's going on now. I like the show.
Okay.
I didn't think the last 3 years were horrible. I think, maybe what people weren't used to is that, the beginning of the show, Game of Thrones, you building the characters up to get to know them. And then in the middle of the entire series, like the 3rd season, they're building new people into the story again and letting you know them. So it might have got slow during that time when they're introducing new characters. But that's just to prove a point. Like, I thought the show was great. It wouldn't have been, if it wasn't great, they wouldn't have brought this one back. And just think, September 2nd, Prime, they got Lord of the Rings coming out. So
yeah, I did. I was watching a few of those trailers on Vanity Fair on Twitter.
It got me excited. And you guys got me excited, and I can't wait to see the defense go over here and get a couple of turnovers so that they can go ahead and cover that spread.
Selfish.
All right,
Thanks,
B.
B.
So Brian is laying the 12.5, 13. He said he was shopping for that 12.5. I don't know.
Just win by one. Win by one.
Be nice if they
just win.
Played well.
It would be.
I mean, whatever that score indicates, is still
that would hold that
just to look crisp.
That would hold off a little bit of the chatter.
Yeah,
if they came out and looked good in all 3 phases. But I wonder how many people, like going off of what B just said, will say the reason that Nebraska will win the game will be more on the defensive side than the offensive side.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
maybe it's going to come down to 2 guys that are punting and kicking.
I could see it.
First game of the year, that's an area where sometimes we saw it on, Friday night.
I think
Special teams
one
are a
of the
little bit
things
sloppy.
I'm looking for early is to see what else Northwestern has outside of Skoronsky on the offensive line, because Nebraska has the ability to get tested there along their team line.
They do if Northwestern commits to running behind a really good tackle.
Yeah, if
the best tackle in the.
But as you saw on Friday night, one man can't.
Yeah.
Can't do it all.
So you're going to hear the name Skowronski a lot. Peter Skowronski. He played last year. He wasn't fantastic against Nebraska. I mean, actually, Caleb Tanner and Garrett Nelson had a couple of good matchups with him, but he's 6'4", 310. He's projected as the number 1 offensive tackle off the board in the NFL draft. It's not a great offensive tackle class, but he's the best, and he might end up being one of the best players, if not the best player that Nebraska goes against this year. But when you have a lineman like that, why not?
I don't know about that.
Tough to find offensive tackles in his category.
Yeah,
because Nebraska's not playing Ohio State.
I don't love him like that.
That's why I said the offensive tackle class isn't the greatest.
Yeah, we'll see, because they'll see the best offensive lineman they'll see this year, or the best player, because he's not going to be the best player.
No, best tackle.
Oh, okay.
Best tackle.
Okay.
Oh no, he won't be the best player.
I didn't catch the tackle.
Best tackle. And maybe he has to keep his head on a swivel if Eric Chenander decides, hey, you know what, Mathis, Tanner, and Nelson on the field at one time would be kind of intriguing.
Well, I'm sure.
Or a Reimer blitz or a Gifford blitz. I mean, it's just like an Eric Chenander chess match game as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what is Northwestern going to be better running the ball. What's their offense going to be like? I mean, this is the game that you can't dance with Northwestern.
Yeah, and I think most coaches, especially at this point when camp starts, where you're vulnerable. I think sometimes you can build your game plan around to protect where you may be a little susceptible.
Don't you think that weaknesses in the preseason are weaknesses in the season?
Yeah, I mean, unless it's youth.
True.
Now, if you're just deficient and you don't have the numbers, and so you have to make do, yeah, I could see it manifesting itself during the season. But if it's youth and you're just looking for experience and reps, you give yourself a chance.
All right, so drop down a level talking about tackles. We were both at the game on Friday night at Burke, which weather was great, place was packed, exciting ending. I don't know that it was the greatest game. It was kind of sloppy, but it had a good ending, and Bellevue West won 28-21. Please, I said this on Friday, can we make this a showcase game? Because if you were there or you watched this on television or wherever you got the game, you saw that it was like a big deal to be there. I mean, we had celebrities of either current high school football players, like, your son, Malik Coleman was there, Gatula was there, some other guys that weren't playing came, and they all kind of hung out together. I ran into A.J. Rollins. He was up from Lincoln. Chucky Hepburn was there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the Lutkes were represented.
I saw him and William Kyle III, who is going to have a fantastic college basketball season with Chucky, just quiet. And
outside of the 3 games he plays against Omaha, I wish him well.
told Chucky, I said, man, I hope you guys didn't come here to be, quiet, incognito, because that didn't happen.
But wasn't it, can we make this where people are like, man, I want to be in that game, and let's make it a showcase? Because look at how many people were, and it wasn't the only game. Papio South had a nice win against North Platte.
Yeah, well, welcome Devin Jones.
But people were like, the amount of people that stopped me on Saturday and Sunday and said, hey, man, either watch the game or wasn't that great. It was fun to watch Bell West prep. I mean, we got to make that a thing. And because of the different numbers and officiating and field use, we're going to have more week 0 games. But that kind of a week 0 game, I would love to see, because that was pretty cool on Friday night to be at Burke.
Yeah, it was electric at times. And you're right, the weather.
Amazing.
Weather was legit. Yeah, you got the baby sprinkle, whatever. But hey, it's like that was just like mist. It was a heck of an atmosphere. The game. I mean, there's a lot, man, and you always have to be. If I'm looking at it from a fan, or if I'm looking at it as a coach who has yet to play either one of these two teams, and we'll see both of them in the next 3 weeks. So I reserve some judgment, I think, from like being critical. But as a fan, there were a couple of things that stuck out to me. Number one, Prep's got some decisions to make at quarterback. Like that was probably one.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to figure out, because it's basically 2 different offenses.
Yes, from Dean Donaldson to
whether
younger brother Ezra.
so well, I mean, not to get into game, whatever, right? But so they've got to find a way to be able to move the ball via the air, because for Sharmar Brown to run for what he did,
178, North Dakota State got a steal.
Yeah. You felt like that game should have played out differently.
Yeah.
I mean, now going forward on 4th down from your own 28 or whatever that was, I mean, Coach Huffman, he pumped a little life into him, but I don't know if he loves his. I don't know if maybe he was going for the jugular.
I don't know.
It was very high risk, high reward, or low reward, because I didn't get the sense that Prep could score quickly. But they found a way to get back into it and make that thing 21. So there's that Prep offensively. Number 2, you better give credit where credit is due for the criticisms that Coach Huffman and that program get about flash and dash and the glitz and glamour kind of Hollywood
playmakers in purple.
How about their resolve to hang in there?
Yeah, and
that easily could have, when that game was tied, Bellevue West could have went away and hid.
Yeah, and
and emotionally they didn't. They're bigs, those guys up front, they hung the heck in there.
And you would think this a Bellevue West program that's been successful and they won a title in 16 and 19, and it seems like they're at least in the state semis every year. You wouldn't have to worry about that. But he said that earlier in the week. He wondered about their resolve. That was a question he had. He's got a lot of questions about his team. Now, they got some talent that they are going to find out about. But he did wonder when they got squeezed, how they would react, because I don't think he was super enamored last year when they faced some adversity, how they responded.
Well, you saw the last game against us, right? Last year, I mean, they wilted. There's no nice way to say that, right? They wilted a year ago, and they did not on Friday night. And that was kind of an moment for me. I'm like, okay. A lot of times when you have a lot of skill and you can be kind of finesse, a lot of times resolve is what is is what's compromised. They showed some really good toughness. Like, because I feel like Prep kind of got away from what really could have worn them down. Just the efficiency of doing what they wanted to do.
Just the quarterback run game, you think?
Well, I mean,
because that's the only Prep couldn't complete a forward pass.
And I wonder how they're going to utilize it. Now, week 2 will be interesting. This is the downside to not having the opener. But remember, I was talking about all leading up to this. Would I rather have the film or the game? Give me the film. Because we're an experienced bunch. So give me the film, right? So Prep at quarterback was 1. Bellevue West resolve was 2. And I think the third thing is how important special teams is early in the season. Like special teams, if it's just kicking game like it has a chance to be in the opener, it was all over the place. And how about probably the play of the game, getting the punt off
Donovan Whitfield
off the bad snap and having the resolve to get that thing kicked was unbelievable. I mean, that was big time.
That ended up being a 49-yard punt.
That was big time.
Well, and then there was the little pooch kickoff that Prep let bounce. Like didn't come up to fair catch or to cover it. And so that's a live ball recovered by Bellevue West, and they turned into a touchdown.
They had the block punt or the block field goal attempt. So like the special teams thing is really something that we want to make sure we shore up. But watching Prep, I was just surprised at how philosophically, I wonder, and I won't ask this week because we play him. Coach Huffman broke tendency a little bit, right? He's not usually a trips to this is just me being a nerd watching almost every play he's ever had over the last however many years, but he's normally not a trips to the boundary guy. And he showed it a couple times early. He would run like that he would run motion to it to get to trips. And Prep didn't really adjust. And it started to catch up with him, especially in the quick game. Like he was basically stealing outside the numbers with the quick game, because I don't think Prep either didn't want to get beat over the top or they were worried about whatever was going on.
I think
to the backside.
I think the former of the fear of just getting beat over the top. But they had some miscommunication. I mean, look at how Hall Javon Hall going to be that wide open, that there's something wrong.
So both first 2 touchdowns were on similar concept routes. Just a little exchange along the sidelines. You get caught peeking. It's like their version of wheel routes, and Davon Hall got the first one. McMorris got the second. I know Prep's got to be kicking themselves over that one, because that's just a breakdown in coverage. So I mean, Brown was as good as advertised. It's amazing for his size. I said this he played at Little Vikes, and he was a little guy then. He's big now. He's a heavy runner. Like when he hits you, it's like it's a good crisp crack. He's something else. They got to.
You know what? You could tell that he's a wrestler because he's got great balance.
He
always. Another thing I love about him is watching him, and running backs. I appreciate this a lot. They always fall forward.
Yeah, he's a heavy. That's what I mean. He's a heavy runner. And conversely, Bellevue West, on the other hand, they've got to find a ground game.
Makes you appreciate L.J. Richardson, Ducker, and Bradley, and those kind of guys, right?
Because without a QB run game, they've got to find a. Because, I mean, if I'm being selfish, I hope they don't, right? But without a QB run game and without a consistent ground game, it'll be hard to play offense like that all year long, right? I mean, DK, he was stealing with that quick game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the swings, the flares, the bubbles, those kind of concepts. I'm just like, that's his extension of those long handoff games. I'm like, yeah. I mean, when they keep you up at night, they're running the football.
Yeah. It just was weird. I think I texted you late after the game. It's just rare to see a Bellevue West team that doesn't have a true running back one.
Hey, how about Bouillon defensively, though?
One of the best players on the field.
Man,
playing middle linebacker.
Is he a monster?
And he's a little bit bigger than he was last year. He played a lot of running back at Central. I mean, he was, what, 600-plus yards? He looks like a middle linebacker, like the body.
Nice get for West Side.
Yeah, right there.
Or, excuse me, Bellevue West. And, the other thing is, which had me thinking with the West Side thing, and I like to give Stu a hard time, but, with the whole transfer thing and that, well, I thought it was pretty lazy on his part, but that's neither here nor there. I didn't remember reading about like prepping their guys, because I don't think Vedral and Donaldson didn't start at prep, did they?
No. They had to sit out last year.
That didn't make the article. But anyway,
that wasn't in the article of the increased coverage of high school football that sometimes is frowned upon. Did we just go that way?
You did. I didn't.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Huge matchups this week.
Oh, it's a great week one. But we need to. You got some power. We need to make the week 0 a showcase game.
Well, can you get that kind of matchup?
Well, we got people at NSAA that can massage the schedule.
Yeah, it's you got to be on high alert if you were thinking that this Bellevue West team was going to be flash and dash. They showed they got some resolve.
Yeah, and they got some questions, but they got a victory.
And that's okay. See, they can build on that. This isn't my pep talk to them, but they can build on that, right? If you feel like you still have some things you have to resolve, but you won that game with mental toughness, and how pissy will prep be coming into this one?
Well, I know a guy that wears 66 on the offensive line should be.
Hey, man, how good is he?
We did this last week. Sam Sledge is, I don't know how he's not on a Super 6, but
hey, and he's mean.
Yeah, and he was really good defensively. Like offensively, you almost forgot about him because they didn't run to his side as often as I thought they might. But defensively, he's got great feet and hands. I mean, healthy. He's going to be a multi-year starter at Nebraska. I have no doubt. But we'll share our thoughts on the Danny Kalins and the Sledges and the Halls that we saw on Friday night.
Pargo Jr. being in and out of that lineup hurt prep quite a bit.
And we saw, it wasn't a real warm night. It was like 80 at kickoff, but cramps became an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, guys had to leave for a while. I mean, Kalin, he left due to cramps, and you could tell the rest of the game that he couldn't plant his back foot. But interesting. But I loved it. It was great. It was great to be there. I mean, again, exciting ending. I don't know that the game was great, but it kind of looked like a week one where two top teams are playing. But you're right, special teams. Like this weekend, Nebraska feels really good about their special teams. Those two guys that just showed up could be the difference for Nebraska. We're not talking Casey Thompson or somebody else on the back end. It's two guys that are going to put their foot on the ball. All right, 6:54. We'll take a break. Michigan Lance stay right there. I know he was watching from Jacksonville.
Yeah, there are a lot of folks out of town that were catching coverage of that game.
Imagine that. High school football coverage getting a lot of coverage.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That is a good thing. You have to embrace it, curmudgeons. All right, 6:54. Sharp and betting in the morning. It's game week on 1620 The Zone.
You could win $5,000 to have the ultimate tailgate party on 1620 The Zone. Enter now at 1620thezone.com.
Here are your 2 big deal cheeseburgers. Enjoy your Sonic.
I love the sauce, don't you? So it's not just ranch. It's got a little zing to it.
Yeah, like a dilly ranch. Don't dilly-dally with this. Get to Sonic.
Don't dilly-dally, run.
The ultimate burger for pickle lovers is here. The Sonic Big Deal Cheeseburger, topped with crispy pickle fries, crinkle-cut pickles, and creamy dilly ranch. Get yours now for just $4.49. Exclusions apply. See app for details. Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Let's face it, food shortages are a real threat now. Supply chain breakdowns, inflation, fuel prices, global conflicts, fertilizer cutbacks, farmers being encouraged not to plant. The stage is set for the peanut butter to hit the fan. But for some reason, Americans are still in denial about food shortages. Listen, we don't take risks with other things in our lives, so why take risks with your food security? Those who know what's coming are using today to prepare. Millions of Americans have purchased Ready Hour emergency food from My Patriot Supply, the brand people look for when they're ready for real preparedness. MyPatriotSupply.com is America's largest preparedness company. Get stocked up on emergency food that lasts up to 25 years in storage to get you through tough times ahead. Your other choice is to stand in government food lines, hoping for a handout. As we both know, that's not an option. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now. MyPatriotSupply.com.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
Yeah, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, anything, you need to tell an adult, someone you know and trust. That can be hard, but speaking up about a problem is what helping a friend is all about.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is presented by Tickets for Less. Tickets for Less is your local source for Nebraska football tickets. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com. All the Nebraska football news, stories, experts, and coverage you need is on 1620 The Zone. Sharp and betting in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app.
It is game week. It is also back to school for a lot of the local colleges. So good luck, kids. Have fun finding a parking spot. All right, 6:59 to wrap up the hour. Let's talk to Michigan Lance. Hello, my friend.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Man, had a nice weekend. How about you guys?
It was quiet. A lot of work to do, man, between packing and game planning.
Yeah, I called you Saturday morning. Do you guys game plan? Well,
yeah, we didn't leave the school and for a while. Let's put it to you like that. A while.
What time did you get there?
You had us there at 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I tried to get you on the drive in to Saturday morning quarterback. I don't know if you saw that missed call.
Shoot, I don't know, man. Saturday, anything before 2, I was not paying attention.
Man, they got you stressing over there, man. Hey,
no. I mean, we wanted to be, just because of our schedule and how we want to do install and not waste a day of practice. Like, you got to do it the majority of it on the front end. I like it this way, though. I like it this way, like, because when it's a Monday, it's actually a work day. It's not really going to be like an install. Do this. It's an actual work day.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
That's cool. All
Yeah,
right.
so we'll practice
On Saturday.
No,
Oh, you mean
ready for today. Yeah,
today?
yeah.
Right. I got you. Yeah, no, that's cool. One thing you guys are taught, like the sloppy special teams and stuff like that, like, and actually it was a pretty well, like as far as like flags, it was a pretty clean game, right? It
Yeah,
wasn't that bad.
I would agree. We noticed that. I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, and that's that's usually an issue too, along with special teams. And one of my gripes, Gary, is outside of spring ball for Nebraska high school football is some type of preseason game or scrimmage.
Yeah, Sharpie's on that. He's been trying to get this done.
Yeah, we need, as you're seeing in Florida, they play like a jamboree or a classic the week before the season begins. Yeah, we need to get that here.
Yep, and they got it going in Texas. I'm like, it's so beneficial for the kids. Man, it just need more football in Nebraska than what, you know what I mean? From not doing a whole lot from December to August, you know what I mean, man? You can see it in the play of our kids and the way the way I judge things. As I'm looking at Jaden at middle linebacker, did he play middle linebacker last year?
No. Well, yes. You talking about for Central?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? And so it's like, and I, was texting you guys. I can see the flashes of goodness, but then I can see the inconsistency too. And I think that just comes from the lack of being out on the field enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because he really doesn't look like he plays. If he had more opportunities with off season to play, you know what I mean? I really think, man, he would be a monster. But I can see the flashes, and as he goes along into the season, he's going to be better. And is there a reason? Do you guys know will he get some stuff running back? Or is he just done with that?
I mean, you'd think.
Yeah, you know what? And Lance, leading up, he wasn't really even mentioned as a possibility at running back. I mean, he had 600 yards last year at Central. So maybe that changes after this past Friday.
Yeah, because I'm like, hey, man, they got to have somewhat of a run game sooner or later, right? Like,
yeah, that's what I think. And I don't know. I mean, maybe I saw Gwenner with ice on his shoulder. I mean, he was talking to some people in the stands during the game. So he got hurt early. He didn't feel right, So maybe he'll come back. I don't know, man. Where my attention is. It's on number 6, number 11, all those guys that wear the blue. Those guys. Maybe he moves Gio back, Contreras, number 13. But he's such an important part of their wide receiving core.
But then he came in and he had the majority of snaps at running back.
So they got options there. But
too bad.
I'm worried about how to stop triple with Veer and QB run game.
Man, I've seen that. How about the Isaiah McMorris? You know what I mean? Like I asked you about him last year. Because I didn't get a chance to see Miller North play. But I know some people like you and a couple other people that know him. Like, man, he's a real deal in football. And from what I saw, I love his heart and attitude, man, and the confidence. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not the talk. I don't care about talking, but it's not talking. It's just the way he carries himself.
That's who he is. So 2 things you don't have to worry about with him. He's tough, and he's confident. Like everything else. Like you don't, I mean, he's going to bring that edge to the table, and he's not a big guy, and he couldn't care less. Like he plays hard, and
he does.
And I think sometimes people mistake, because he's kind of aloof, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I think people assume he's just like in neutral, but he's not. Like,
right.
He plays hard.
And I see a different kid from basketball, but again, he was a sophomore last year. So we'll see how that goes this year. I just, hey, you know me, man. I don't care about dancing and talking. Do all that you want. I mean, I come from that too. You know what I mean? but I just hope that it's equal opportunity for everybody. Because the last couple of years, I've seen touchdown dances from Bellevue West. I'm like, man, they don't get called for this stuff. And hey, if that's the way you let it, hey, I'm fine with that. Just make sure kids and coaches at Bryan can do it, at Benson can do it, at Northwest can do it. You get what I'm saying, DB? Just make sure it's okay, because like there's a stereotype of me and you out there dancing, DB, but it's cool when others get to do it. You know what I mean? And so, and we're cognizant of that. We try, you know, I tell my son, I know you tell your son things like, hey man, don't act like a clown, because they're going to see us as a clown. But other people don't get that privilege. And so, but hey, I'm with that and all that, man. So it's good. My son, we watched the game.
Hey, what'd you think? What'd you think of Sledge?
Oh yeah, he's a beast, man.
Yes,
he's a beast. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's a monster. Yeah, he's a good one. And I think that like with prep, like you called it out with the quarterback run game.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I don't understand. Hey, I might want to see a little bit more option. Like, who can stop Vedral and Brown? Like, let that kind of be your somewhat run pass game.
Hey,
you know what I mean? Like, then you play 11 on 11, man, to give you another option, and you don't have to throw the ball a lot. You just need to throw it well enough.
Hey, you know me. How much no ball do you think we're doing this week?
Right. Yes, indeed. A little 2-on-2 drill.
We'll try to rep it. It's another thing to see. I appreciate that. I like Armar Brown. I like
the twins.
I like Marty's brother. He has really grown. Mm-hmm. He's got the great smile. He was a headache the other night. They may have to find a way to turn him loose. You know, like kind of free, because it's that scheme it's kind of regimented.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he looks the part too. They're gonna be a handful. We gotta figure.
See why this is. We need to do this every year.
Anytime they do, I wonder what their fullback run game nets them yards per carry
with Egan.
It's effective.
It is, but it when it surprises you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Will we see the Veer game, trap game?
1620, The Zone, traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, More Time Saving Traffic Center. L Street eastbound around 90th is getting pretty heavy. So is Dodge westbound around 72nd. 80 and 680 are pretty smooth though. And I don't see anything to report on JFK yet. My name's Conrad. This has been your morning traffic.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Don't let high gas prices kill your summer plans. Saul's is the place to beat the summer budget crunch. With cash on the spot loans to help you get out of town, book that flight, or take that epic road trip. Cash on the spot, your summer getaway at Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. It has been a great summer, but a new school year. The fall, crisp, cool weather will be upon us before you know it, and it is time for you to transition into crisp, clear vision. Who can help you do that? Of course, the fine folks at Kugler Vision, voted Best of Omaha, #1 LASIK provider in Omaha Magazine. They changed my life in 2018. They can change your life today. Visit their website, schedule a consultation, KuglerVision.com.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
After 24 years, Horseman's Park will close for major renovations on Sunday, September 18th. The original simulcast facility will be changed forever, so don't miss this final opportunity to watch and wager on over 700 TVs with weekly food and drink specials, door prizes, and so much more. Time is running out to be a part of Nebraska's horse racing history. Now through September 18th, open 7 days a week. Horseman's Park, Omaha's best bet.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. it finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Kirsten Bernthal Booth with Creighton Volleyball here. The 2022 season has arrived, and we need you in the stands as we look to defend our Big East title. Our 15-match home schedule is one of our best ever. In addition to our tough Big East slate, we are also hosting some of the top teams in the country, including Kentucky, USC, and Nebraska. Don't miss any of the action this season and get your tickets online now at gocreighton.com/buy. Go Jays!
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you have to drive 300 miles to your cousin's wedding. Okay, so it's his fourth. But you know what they say, fourth time's the charm. Well, here's the problem. Your tires are as bald as I am. But lucky for you, eBay Motors has tires for just about every make and model. Plus wheels, lug nuts, jack stands, and more. 122 million parts. Do they have tissues? Oh, good, because I'm definitely a crier. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
At Dingman's Collision Center, you voted them first place in Best in Omaha for the past 17 years. So they want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and their incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, they'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
You can join us every week for the Sharp and Betting podcast. It's Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by our good friends at Woodhouse Auto Family.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is we'll get more in depth on a lot of your favorite topics, have a guest or two, and just might drop some nuggets of information that you've never heard before.
Wherever you get your podcasts, just look for Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family each Friday. You can find it on the Sharp and Betting show page on 1620thezone.com. At Sharp and Betting, we got a podcast.
Sharp and Betting in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app. Here are Gary Sharp and Damon Benning.
Hey, that was Ross Tucker, who was on with us on Friday. He was headed to Cleveland to do the Browns and the Eagles, and he was talking about Cam Jurgens in the open field, an absolute stud. It's good. Everything that we have seen, especially last year, now people that didn't get to watch him are getting to experience about Cam Jurgens in the NFL.
Yeah.
Healthy, going to have a long career.
He's just
playing
really,
National Football League.
He's just really good. Period.
I mean, downfield polling, there's going to be so much they can do with him in Philadelphia. And I think I responded to Bulk Dog. He's the kind of player that city will embrace because he's going to bust his ass.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a problem. He's going to be a likable guy. And he looks like an offensive lineman. He plays like an offensive lineman, talks like an offensive lineman.
And Kelsey wanted the pick.
Yep. I mean, he has opened himself up to a really, really good career in Philadelphia. And it's kind of, again, we saw him last year, what he did when, what he did in the middle of that offensive line is just the reaction of other people now. I get to see him for the first time and go, whoa, yep, that's who he is. All right, welcome in game week, hour number 2, football game in Dublin, Ireland. 6 hours ahead of us. 36,000 people are going to be in a rugby stadium. Between a team that has a lot to prove and a team that is just not it this year, between Nebraska and Northwestern. There was a lot of more players than anything yesterday when they were in front of the podium. And we can retire here shortly after 5 days, a business trip. We can get rid of that phrase, a business trip to Ireland. is we're going there to win a football game. Thank you. Because this has been, I've noticed not only our show, but other shows on this radio station, when people say it's a must win or it's a program game. How do you come back if you're not able to do what you've been building up to match the vibe that you have, and that is to win a football game? What your reaction is? Good. I'm glad guys are saying we're going there to win a football game. You know what? They're saying the same thing at Northwestern, ironically. But if, we found out also a little bit from the discussion yesterday at the presser. Last year, they were tight. Okay, what was the lead into that game? How big that game is? Well, now we're going to just let it rip. Well, you know what? Be loose. If you have a good vibe, why not tell everybody you have a good vibe and don't care what people go, come on, you won 3 football games last year. How can you say that? If you feel good, tell people you feel good. And don't be fake about it.
Like what difference does that make though? Oh, are you saying just don't go out of your way to be coy the other way?
Yeah, if you are a player and you have a good vibe and you truly believe that, let it rip.
Yeah.
Say, we're going there to win a football game. And somebody goes with a follow-up, and you as a player go, no. You heard what I said. We're going there to win a football game. Because there are guys that I do believe, and there's certain players that when they speak in front of a microphone off this football program, they're not just blowing smoke. Okay, they're going to tell you exactly what's going on. Maybe sometimes too honest. That if they feel like the vibe is good, they feel like they should win a football game. And why shouldn't you win a football game? Like your matchup on Saturday. Don't hide anything. Say, yeah, we know what we're in line to do, and that is to go win a football game, business trip or not. We're going to Ireland to be 1-0.
Yeah,
and it's a program game. Let's be honest; it's absolutely a program game.
Well, it's a little early for that, isn't it?
Well, but it's the general feeling of
but the program hasn't been the program hasn't. So why I say that the program hasn't been good. So if you win the game, it's not back.
No, but it's a lot easier to build then for the next week off a victory instead of everything that comes with you stub your toe in the opener against a team that you're going to be maybe by kickoff a 2-touchdown favorite against.
I think it's far from a program game because the benefits are far outweighed by if you don't get it done. See, there's no reward in winning from a perception standpoint at all.
Yes,
because
from our side of the
right,
but internally,
so for them, it's all about
yeah. We may tiptoe through the dandelions and say, well, I'm not, but internally, yeah, this is a program game. If you believe everything that's gone on since the middle of November last year and into December,
just the ability to exhale.
Well, to validate what you've done for 3.5 weeks and the changes that you've made, to validate yourself. Because there's guys that are going to take the field that haven't won a football game in over 300 days. How much longer can that go without majorly impacting you? But if you feel like you have a good vibe, speak it. What's your phrase? Speak it into existence?
Yeah.
If you feel like you have a good vibe and you've done the work, it's okay. I'm not saying, oh, come on, you know what? The program's won 15 games in 4 years. If you believe that, go ahead and say it. But then you know what? We're watching on Saturday. We're watching on Saturday that if you say it, you back it up. Because guys were kind of saying the same thing last year going to Illinois, and we saw that the sphincter went because they danced with Illinois. Don't dance. Don't dance. Don't make it a dance party in Dublin. All right, make it a massacre in Dublin. Just take over right away and throw the first punch. I mean, when's the last time you really sat down?
I mean, that's easy to say, though. I mean, what do you want them to do? Go up top early, return a kickoff? Everybody wants to do that.
Walk out of the locker room, and here we go. Not, okay, let's see here. Let's feel each other out.
I think that's usually the goal, right?
But I think in this case, with this team,
that's usually the goal. Bam. And I don't know if Northwestern is as bad as you're making them out to be, where you just come out and step on their throat.
And they may step on Nebraska's throat. But I don't want to be. I don't want to be the first one that takes the abuse. I mean, when was the last time that you felt truly about a Nebraska team that they were going to be the ones that dictated how the game was going to be played. Not, okay, we're in a stalemate, or you're going to throw the first punch and we're going to react, or you're going to make the first move and we're going to react. That's a change that I would like to see. Is it even possible? Well, we're going to find out in 5 days and then throughout the course of the season.
What does that look like, though?
You come out with, you're crisp right away. Okay, you have a plan. You can kind of tell how this is going. You have a feel. You dictate game tempo. Instead of you're reacting to somebody else, you take the lead. And this is how we're going to play football today. I established the identity of the game early. Now, maybe, as the course of the game and you ride the roller coaster, it changes. But I'm going to come out and I'm going to establish the identity of what this football game, how this football game is going to be played. Or at least I'm going to tell you that we're here and this is how we're going to play, and make you react instead of you doing something that we have to react to. I would like to see that as a possibility this season, to say, okay, on the tote board of growth and changes, that's one thing I can see. And it may be that way on offense because you have an older offensive coordinator and the way that he approaches a game and some of the new stuff that he's going to see that he's never seen before against teams that he hasn't seen before.
Yeah. That dynamic unto itself is going to be a ton different because the guy that Coach Frost is talking to in the headsets or listening to, and obviously he has the ability to cross over to both, but we'll be standing right next to him this year. That's the first time since he's been at Nebraska, because Walters nor Lubick were upstairs on the field. They were both upstairs. So that unto itself, like, he's going to go down and talk to him, or, hey, coach, that dynamic, there'll be as much watching the sidelines as there is anything in this one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when he made that official yesterday that Whipple was going to be on the sidelines, that's the first thing I thought of, is how close they will be to each other. I mean, we don't anticipate it all being the Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy stuff, where they stand next to each other the entire game. I imagine that they will be separated by a long way. That Scott will be away from the offense, where he usually is away anyhow towards the end of where his team is, where the football is. I think that's a preference. He likes watching the game that way. Oh, but when he said that yesterday, that's immediately went through my mind. Okay, we're going to watch how much interaction they have during game. But here's another thing. And you can say this you can approach this from the standpoint of you've been a coach, you've been a head coach and now an assistant coach. Do we want to see our head coach come off the sidelines and go talk to groups?
Boy, it just depends on your assistants.
So that's the thing that
I don't really have I don't have a thing either way. Just depends on, well, there's a couple of factors. Number one, knowing the pulse of your team, kind of what your role is typically day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you are in practice? If that's how you are in practice, I imagine it would probably carry over to the games. If you're hands off in practice, I don't imagine you'd be that way. But I mean, I've done it both ways, and I've had guys do it both ways. I don't typically, unless your head coach is one of the coordinators, I don't typically see coaches go over with individual groups. Doesn't happen a ton. At least has been my understanding.
I mean, T.O. was comfortable doing that.
Yeah, it's not like he rallied the quarterbacks and the backs on the sidelines. He may talk to O-line or have a guy come over like his quarterback, but he didn't do the group thing a ton unless it was maybe quarterbacks. He didn't have time either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's coaching.
So Scott, in the discussion of game day responsibilities, did say that he won't have his head buried in a play sheet and he'll be able to find the weaknesses of the opposing team. We will watch this, because that's what we do. We will watch his body language as the season goes along. Either how much interaction he has with his offensive coordinator, or how much interaction he has with his team that is not on the sidelines. Like, does he go over and talk to the offense? Does he go over and talk to the defense? You know, does he walk away from the sidelines? Does he have anything in his hands? You know, all of this is going to be brand new Saturday. I mean, this experience is going to be very awkward. I can't imagine, as we're, you know, getting inkling of what he does during practice, what Saturday is going to be like. Because then it's real. Then it really hits you that you're not the guy that has the say on play calling. You know, so what do you do? You put your hands in your pockets? Do you walk? I mean, who are you talking to? What are you watching? When do you feel like the need to chime in to say, hey, let's do this? All of that stuff is going to be the dynamic of how Saturdays work during game day.
Yeah.
You know, are you separated? You know, do you have a headset on the entire time? I mean, it all goes into what this fascinating experiment that's going to happen with play calling and the head coach being more of a CEO. I mean, what do we think? Bowden just walked up and down the sidelines most of the time. He didn't have a headset on. Then he'd put on a headset and you'd wonder, oh boy, and things aren't going well. Let's see.
Or he'd just grab the one little mouthpiece and have somebody hand him the headset and say something.
Yeah.
Give it back.
All right, 26 past the hour. Coming up next hour, Scott Shanley will stop by. We are through 2 weeks of the NFL. We do have a preseason game tonight, but preseason football through 2 weeks. Bills looked really good on Saturday, especially the number one offense with Josh Allen. Scott Shanley will stop by.
They really score 6 times in a row.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was humming.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah, it was too bad for the Broncos.
Yeah, it's breaking you up inside, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Buffalo looked really, really good. I mean, I don't know that you go, well, is No, they look good in preseason number 2 where they played Josh Allen. But we'll talk to Scott coming up at 8:40. And then Jimmy Watkins stops by a little bit after 9 with his thoughts. Nebraska leaves for Dublin later today. They'll be over there tomorrow. Our guest, Andy Kendi, by the way, will join us tomorrow. Him and Tyler and Rob McCartney are going over to Dublin, and AK said that he will join us because of the time difference, 6 hours ahead.
Yeah,
they'll be there, and he'll be able to join us.
Long distance thing is not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Now we just got to make sure that he's got the phone and all that stuff works. All the technology.
Hey, how's the service?
How's that plan? All right, Sharp Betting in the morning. There's Damon. I'm Gary Chance here as well on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
So it is just like Severe says. It's just a walking movie.
They SEAL Team 6 into
meander.
Mountain Dew.
I mean, what kind of an action-adventure story is this? You don't meander into the breach. You attack the breach. You
watch
charge
the Battle
into the
of
breach.
Hell's Gate.
What a dumb story
it's
this
Frodo.
is.
Okay, it's Frodo. Imagine Nick trying to go into like a really protected area.
Again,
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone.
All right, start of the college football season is here, and FanDuel wants to make sure that you are ready for game day as it kicks off this week. Right now, new customers, $150 in free bets guaranteed for week 1. Just place a $5 bet and you get $150 in free bets. Win or lose, FanDuel is back, Damon.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You just got to get to that, get to the app, get it downloaded, enter the promo code ZONE. That's always the key. And then there's a lot of action. If you're looking at Saturday, you got, Connecticut, Utah State, maybe it's Wyoming and Illinois. I'm just kidding. I know it's all about Nebraska and Northwestern. Whatever you like, make sure FanDuel's a part of it. And take care of risk-free. Risk-free really means risk-free.
Now, if you're thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. Just download the app, as Damon alluded to. Sign up with our promo code ZONE and place a $5 bet to get $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off the season. That's promo code ZONE. 21 over, present Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Watch out for patchy dense fog during the morning drive Monday. Most fog should lift by around 9 a.m. Then sunny and warm conditions the rest of the day with a light southeast breeze, highs around 87. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Dingman's Collision Center, 4 collision center locations serving you in Omaha and Papillion.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating Plumbing more times every traffic center. We got an accident on 42nd and Harrison. JFK northbound is getting congestion. 680 and 80 are both smooth sailing. And there's nothing to report on L or Dodge outside of the typical commute this time of day. My name is Conrad. This has been your morning traffic.
This time-saving traffic was brought to you by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more.
The dog days of summer are here, and Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More is offering a special $55 AC system check. Each system check donates 10 pounds of pet food to the Nebraska Humane Society. Give us a call or request service at justcallburton.com.
O'Reilly. Improve your vehicle's gas mileage and power with Royal Purple Fuel Injector Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts. And right now, buy one 6-ounce bottle and get one free, plus earn double O Rewards points with your purchase. Save money on gas and boost performance with Royal Purple Fuel Injector Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. After 24 years, Horseman's Park will close for major renovations on Sunday, September 18th. The original simulcast facility will be changed forever, so don't miss this final opportunity to watch and wager on over 700 TVs with weekly food and drink specials, door prizes, and so much more. Time is running out to be a part of Nebraska's horse racing history. Now through September 18th, open 7 days a week. Horseman's Park, Omaha's best bet.
Commercial real estate is facing its first headwinds in over 8 years. Register now to attend the 33rd annual event, The Changing World of Commercial Real Estate, from the CRE Summit, Friday, August 26th at the CHI Health Center, Omaha. Industry pros will discuss hot topics such as what increased interest rates mean for CRE, the impact on new development, and how to manage the rising costs of construction. Register now. Attend CRESummit.com. Don't miss the CRE Summit. Join us and get deals done.
O'Reilly. Improve your vehicle's gas mileage and power with Royal Purple Fuel Injector Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts. And right now, buy one 6-ounce bottle and get one free, plus earn double O Rewards points with your purchase. Save money on gas and boost performance with Royal Purple Fuel Injector Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
1620 The Zone, live and local, broadcasting 6A to 6P in the Host Coffee Zone studio. Host Coffee, building healthy and happy break room refreshment services to Omaha and Lincoln metro area businesses. Discover a better break room solution for your office at sales@hostcoffee.net.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. If you've played golf this summer and you haven't been that happy with your game, Mike Faber, their director of instruction, he can help you out. Give Miracle Hill Golf a call today at 402-498-0220. Book lessons or book a round of golf, whether it's a quick 9 after work, a full 18 on the weekend, the Top Tracer building. You can get your golf game right. 402-498-0220, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Sharp and betting in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app.
Oh, more Saturdays without college football. I hope you enjoyed this past Saturday. Got out, played a little golf. Honey-do list. For everybody that becomes, football widows, it is our time to shine. Week 0 is upon us. If you are mapping out your day, I've already done it for you. Before kickoff at 11:30, you got Austin Peay and Western Kentucky at 11 on CBS Sports Network. And then you can do double dose of Big Ten football because Wyoming and Illinois, which sneakily is an intriguing game.
Yeah, there's no sneaky.
That's a 3:00 kick in Champaign, the home of the Week 0 game.
I don't know. Wyoming's going to play that game tough.
Willie Taggart at FAU. They are at Charlotte. And then our good friend Dan Jackson in his first year at Vandy. They are at Hawaii. Yeah. That's late night. That's a 9:30 kick. So there's you got to get a good foursome of football on week 0 of the college football season.
UTEP in North Texas will be a good one. That game should be highly competitive. That's two pretty evenly matched teams.
North Carolina is playing. Am I missing any other exciting games?
Did you say exciting?
Exciting. Well, one of them will be just completely chaotic. Like I could see Vanderbilt and Hawaii playing late into the night, and it comes down to a last-second field goal to win 14-10, or 14-12, or 14-13, something like that. But there's your slate for week 0. Coming up next hour, Scott Shanley will join us. Jimmy Watkins as well. Here is Andrew on the phones on Sharp and Betting in the Morning. Good morning, Andrew.
Hey, how are you doing, guys?
What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. Hey, I got to admit, it's been kind of hard to get excited about Nebraska this year. I just don't have that same feeling I have in years in the past.
Well, maybe it'll be like Bizarro World, and that'll be a good thing. Since you're not giddy, they'll have a good season.
Well, I would hope. I would hope. But if you guys, when watching the Northwestern game, I guess I've got a question for you. You'll be concerned if you see this. What would this be?
Nebraska's inability to stop the run.
That would be your concern.
That would be number one.
How about you, Franklin?
I would do the opposite. Nebraska's inability to run the football.
All right. That was mine. That was the latter was mine. And if you see this, you'll think it will be a positive season, I guess. It would be the opposite of.
Well, I think for this game only, if Nebraska can run the football, it says, okay, that's their identity early on. And Northwestern still hasn't fixed what ailed them last year.
Yeah, for me, it's almost just the opposite. I think ultimately, like I have a lot of questions about Nebraska's offensive line. And so if they can't run the ball, that they may be a team that'll be better later in the season. Defensively, though, I don't think they're going to have a lot of options up front. So if they're not good right now against a team that's not going to give them any threat of the vertical passing game, that would be a pause for me.
Okay. Thanks for the answer to the question, boys.
Hey,
appreciate it, Andrew. Have a good rest of the day.
Have a great day.
Both teams are really a mystery in this game. The new faces for Nebraska, a new offensive coordinator. With Northwestern, I mean, they can't be as bad defensively as they were last year.
No.
And they changed as the season went along from that 4-2-5 to they ran some even and odd front. But offensively, Ryan Helinski is still the quarterback, correct? He is. They officially named him as a starter for Saturday.
That's going to be a thing, right?
They will have Hull, who through all of last year did find a way to run for 1,000 yards, and then they have Porter coming back. They are a mystery team as well, but again, I've said this for a while about Northwestern. I can't imagine Northwestern being as poor as they were last year. I mean, you're in the cycle of Fitzgerald. They actually might be a year away from being back to a team that you go, okay, West Division, here we go. As Helinski at quarterback in that offense, I still don't know what they're going to be able to do to move the football.
That's the thing.
And but catching them on August 27th, I think is better than catching them on like October 4th.
Yeah, that's why I think, Corcoran, Teddy, you're going to have another new face in on the offensive line. I'm willing to be a little more patient with running the football, even though I love the running back room. If they don't stop the run on Saturday against a team, again, with no threat of the vertical passing game, that would be a cause for concern. It's kind of like we were talking about off air with B-Dub with WS. I mean, they pretty much got to play with 9 in the box.
Mm-hmm.
And Marty still ran for 170. That they're going to have to address that, right? So, but you can, because that just comes with style of play because they have numbers.
Yeah.
Who's Nebraska going to go to without the threat of the vertical passing game? I mean, maybe Drew gets in better shape, so you could use him more. But what other options do you have? Nash and Wynn?
And you're talking strictly just for this game, though.
I'm talking about as the season progresses.
Yeah. See, that is
Corcoran and Teddy can work their way into into being ready because they've been there before.
Drew is
Nebraska's not afforded that luxury defensively up front.
Drew's a
Wynn hasn't been there.
No. And I'm not.
And neither has Nash.
So, and neither has Feast, but I feel more confident about him than I do about Nash playing over the course of a 4-quarter football game.
Well, he's going to start. That's going to make sense.
So,
that stands to reason.
So I don't know. Like Drew is the weird outlier of, okay, how much is he going to play Saturday? And then what's his usage rate like the rest of the year? Is it all predicated on either A, getting in shape, is that number one, or, okay, he can help us. He can play because he's better than some of the guys that have been here a little bit longer than he has, which is, or there is a defensive coordinator that dives deep into his bag of options.
I'll be watching that one close. I'm right there with
I
you.
mean, does he have Nelson, Mathis, and Tanner on the field at the same time? What does he do with his inside linebackers? What does he do with his nickel? I mean, I think Eric Chenander has options to go to. How soon does he go to those options?
That's interesting because and people think, well, if you play your three outsides, you're giving up something, right? So there's a front that will play this week, and it is specific for prep. And I'm thinking to myself, is this guy playing better than the fourth or fifth D lineman?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you play Tanner, Mathis, and Nelson. Is Nelson playing in a front better than what like your third or fourth defensive lineman would be? That's how you'll get that answer, because it doesn't mean they can't stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
And Garrett Nelson's pretty good against the run. You just have to weigh, okay, is that better than me bringing in my extra guy? Whatever you call it. Like, I don't know what the packages would be, or versus your speed packages. Doesn't mean it just has to be a deal where you're trying to get after the passer.
Mm-hmm.
You could just like him better against the run than not.
You got your best guys on the field.
See, that's the thing. Best 11. We've gone over that was 18% of our camp was figuring out the best 11. Because at our place, the best 11 play defense.
Whoa. Is that because you're on that side of the ball? You fight for the best 11?
Coach's philosophy. Best 11 play D. So we had to figure that out.
I think in Nebraska, there's one side that you could get to the best 11. I think there's another side that you don't have the best 11 yet.
I wonder my thing offensively though, I'm kind of vibing with you a little bit on what kind of start, because I don't know about Nebraska's offense individually. Their guys resolve. Now Casey's pretty battle tested, but I don't know if that's like their spokesperson. You know what I mean? Like, is he going to rally the guys? Vokalek has been there a little. Like, who's the rally guy? Because it may happen. I mean, wouldn't you assume it would be a little disjointed early? I would.
Yeah, I think there's the mystery part of this game.
Listen, if Nebraska comes out crisp and clicking, I mean, good on them, because the next thing will be, well, we've seen this before.
Well, okay, so
but you'll make the case the last time Nebraska looked coherent and well prepared on offense was this same team a year ago, right?
I remember how that game started in Champaign. This is what I really want to see, whether they come out guns a-blazing or not. You can see like something developing. You put your coach glasses on, or my all CIML backup pulling guard glasses on.
You're who?
Central Iowa Metro League, all backup pulling guard.
Okay.
And you can see like a plan. Like, it's not, okay, we're going to do this. Oh boy, that doesn't work. You're talking about resolve. What if the game plan going in is a heavy dose of running the football? Guys, if we have to throw the ball more than 25 times, we're in trouble. But you know what? We're going to make sure that we don't, because we like our game plan of the way we're going to run the football and the way we're going to attack it. And then that's what you've been repping now for 10 days. and then all of a sudden that runs into a wall? Is that the resolve you're talking about? Okay, guys up front go, man, we've been working on this. We thought it would work. Now it doesn't. What are we going to do, coach?
Well,
but if you see, like what have we talked about for 10 years, you and I together? Pet plays, complementary stuff, build to build to build. Either it breaks through early, breaks through late. Like you see not a hodgepodge of personnel or schemes or ideas, but you see a gradual, like you see a blueprint, like you see a script. And that leads throughout the entire course of the game. That's what I expect actually to be different this year. Not just a round of plays here. Okay, now we're off our script. What do we do? Oh my God, now we've gone into the locker room. We got to make changes. What do we do when we come out of the third quarter? I believe that those things will be fixed. And then it becomes delivering and execution.
Yeah. I think offensively, though, is this weird? I'm probably more inclined to be patient.
Take your lumps or take your losses and move on?
Like, I don't think I will be up in arms or, pacing if the first two series don't go the way that I think that they should. Now, I can't make the same case defensively.
Do you think defensively, right from the get-go?
I think Nebraska should look a lot more put together defensively. If nothing else, again, you're going against a team with questions at quarterback that does not threaten you vertically in the passing game. I will take my chances with Northwestern's number ones and number twos, their X and their Z, against Hill and Newsom. That's just kind of what I expect. And you may have to help out your middle a little bit in terms of stopping the run, maybe getting an eighth in the box. Maybe you'll come out and you'll stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Ty Robinson and Feast will be, they'll hold up. So I think my expectation level relative to the opponent, because I am the guy, and hear me clearly, that is more worried about the D-line than the O-line, even though I'm not in love with either. Because at least on the O-line, they have more options. I don't think they have a ton of options along the D-line.
No, there's no reinforcements coming.
But I expect more. I know defensively it's easier to cover up for a deficiency than it is on offense. At least in my opinion. Now, offensive guys may call me crazy, but
right now, the line is sitting at 13.5 on Vegas Insider.
Gosh, that's a lot.
49.5 is the total.
Oh, it's come down?
So the total has come down a little, and the line has gone up.
They don't know that, like, Northwestern is potentially the greatest show on grass.
Malinsky's still a quarterback?
Just, again, everything you're saying is you're on my side with what better catch your eye first. It better be good defense. I know you're looking at the ground game, but man, that offense is hodgepodge right now.
They need to find a bag of, and then dig into the bag and find something they can do well.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't have hodgepodge football. I got to have at least an identity, even if you're not getting 5 yards per carry, 4 yards per carry. An identity where it's not like, oh boy, now what do we do? And I just don't believe that you will see that in the first game. And I don't expect it to be crisp, bang, bang, bang. Here, there. Drop off a pass, boom, Palmer, run after the catch, key category.
Because even if it is, you've seen them have good opening series.
Yeah.
You've seen that a lot.
But what'll be then the next step in looking at what this offense can do is then when do we get to play 16, 17, 18, 19, 20? And then what do we get to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the locker room?
Let's back. Hold on. You got to slow down now. You can't have it all. You can't have
I'm
the
gonna be
quick.
greedy.
You can't have the quick start, and then can you sustain for 30 plays, and then can you finish, and get in a victory formation? I mean, we can't just be fast forwarding from a 3-win team. It's not even realistic.
I'm talking about one game.
You want the whole kit
One
and
game
caboodle, man.
Saturday in Ireland.
It's not even realistic.
Saturday in Ireland.
You're
That's
like,
all
oh,
I'm
they
talking
need to
about, one
start
game.
fast. I want an idea. Well, shoot, man. So does everybody. Good on the XFL too, man. They found one in Turpin. All right, then, Dallas.
That's good. They can keep him while they move on from Ezekiel Elliott.
Wow, stop hating.
No, I'm not hating. That's the story, is that they are going to move on from Ezekiel Elliott.
Zeke will be a good week 10 through 16 guy. Let the little guy Pollard get the season started. Save Zeke's legs and win with experience down the stretch.
That's a lot of money to have a guy that, hey, we'll see you week 10.
Hey, sometimes
Just
you make
chill.
sometimes you make bad
Hey,
decisions.
just chill.
Sometimes you make bad decisions.
Sometimes in the front office, you make bad decisions
That's what
on
I'm saying.
contracts. Yeah.
Well, you got to manage it though. You can't just throw your hands up in the air.
You
All right, what's the best way to take this, $16 million loss?
You got a head coach who, according to all the odds, is the second most likely coach to be fired in the season.
I'm tired of talking about my job though. Can you stop talking about my job?
Well, you know what? That's what comes with the territory when you're in Dallas and Sean Payton is a free agent. Sorry. All right, 51 past the hour. Scott Shanley.
You know who's laughing? Jason Garrett. I mean, not just because of broadcasts, but
That he's out of the Jerry Jones world.
Did you say clapping?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, those Notre Dame broadcasts this year.
All right. He just can't escape the scrutiny, can he?
No, he cannot. All right, Scott Shanley will join us coming up in about an hour. Jimmy Watkins will stop by as well. We'll get to some tweets and some emails as it is game week. Game week. Captains have been decided. Black shirts will be handed out when they get to Ireland, or they'll just hand them out on the plane. Guys will just be wearing black shirts on the plane.
They got packed, man.
Did you hear one of the issues they ran into? Like one of the pallets that left Lincoln was wood compared to metal, and that it got kind of hung up in customs.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Just little logistics.
A day in the life.
The whole logistics of the equipment moving all the way over to Ireland. See, the difference is, like, we're learning everything about Nebraska going to Ireland. Find me articles written about Northwestern in their camp.
No, they don't have the coverage.
They don't get the coverage, but there has been nothing about Northwestern in camp.
We can call
Louis Vicar is the only guy that covers them.
Well, we can talk to Paul Banks.
You want to talk to Paul Banks?
Yeah, get your bankhead
Paul
bounce
Banks would
game
love to
right.
talk to us.
Right? He was tweeting at us the other day.
Yeah, we used to have him on a lot, and then him and Shane got sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, he hollered at Shane, and Shane was having none of that.
Yeah.
And so Paul didn't come back on.
My man Shane clapped back like, what? Say it again.
He's like, no, we're not having you.
Say it again.
Then he hung up the phone. By the way, take a look at Shane's new avatar. Shane actually has to dress up and be presentable when he goes to work in his new job at Hurrdat.
See my man Liquid over there. What's he talking about?
I mean, someone's taken hold of his Twitter account. I mean, look at his picture. He looks great.
He said he gets haircuts now.
Yeah. I don't think he can wear a hat all the time.
Look at little Shano.
I know. Our little guy is grown up.
That's my dude.
Sharp betting in the morning with Chance, who is all grown up as well.
Chance, you growed up?
God,
like
I hope so.
a Flintstone. Wow. Flintstone kid.
Sharp betting in the morning with Chance Oliver, the pride of Fort Calhoun, where Mike Huffman was before he went to Bellevue West. Got his dream job. 1620 The Zone.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
It's time to find a career that's right for you. Metropolitan Community College can help you find a new path forward on your time. Whether you need a degree that puts you on a path to a new career or need to finish a degree you've already started, MCC makes it affordable and convenient with a flexible class schedule, online or on campus. It's your time to path forward. Let MCC show you the way. Register today. Classes start September 6th. Apply today at mccneb.edu/adults.
Hey, experience the difference in Woodhouse Buick GMC. You know what? They're going to make it easy on you to purchase your next vehicle. Whether you're going to stop by at 119th and I, or you would rather do it online at woodhousebuickgmc.com. Friendly, knowledgeable sales staff. Both locations will take care of you. And right now they have a full lineup of SUVs that you can find one that best suits your lifestyle. Yeah, GMC Acadia, Terrain, Yukon, Buick Encore, Envision, and Clave. I highly recommend taking them for a test drive because you'll find that one of those vehicles, if you're in the market for an SUV, will exceed your expectations. Now, don't forget, 119th and I, they have a climate-controlled showroom, guarantees a comfortable shopping experience. And most importantly, whether you're doing it in person or online, they want you to be comfortable and confident in your new vehicle when you leave the lot or you make a purchase online. So check them out, 119th and I, to browse the in-stock inventory, schedule a test drive, start your car buying journey. You can also do it online at woodhousebuickgmc.com. We are professional grade.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Celebrate Septemberfest, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 5th, outside the CHI Center. There are games, carnival rides, and food, plus clowns, robots, and a KCBC barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club, boxing on Saturday, and epic music all weekend long, including Shoot to Thrill on Sunday. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown at 10 a.m., along with the All-American Car Show. Septemberfest at CHI Center, Lot D. Click septemberfestomaha.org for times and parking info.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
There's nothing quite like listening to the Kansas City Royals
To the wall.
on 1620 The Zone.
Sharp and Betting in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app.
All right, Flaky Jake, who I thought might change his Twitter handle to I am Ozuna from the Braves.
I dubbed him Flaky Jake years ago.
So now he has gotten that after he's been kicked off Twitter numerous times.
I wonder what he did. He does seem like he's pretty nuts, though.
Yeah, this probably went a little too far. He likes to get after some people.
I wonder what he was doing.
I don't know, any Boston Celtic fan or any non-Golden State fan this summer. So he had to come up with a new handle. He said he wouldn't be shocked one bit if Northwestern won.
I would.
I'm going to be selfish because I'm doing Big Red Overreaction. I do not need that to happen.
Yeah, I would.
We'd still be on Monday morning.
I'd absolutely be shocked if Northwestern won.
It would be a derailer. I don't think you built up for this, that you're built this year to, all of a sudden wash it away.
Yeah.
A hiccup and move forward.
And as you know, I know. Like, this would be ridiculously bad. just in turn, like this one, they couldn't recover.
There's
not as a stat.
There's too much there's too much riding on this game. I mean, they need something good to happen. Like they could get a victory on Thursday. Cam Lenhart is supposed to announce where he's going to go to school, the IMG linebacker, and Nebraska has
the curious case of Cam Leonard,
and Nebraska's got they've made it hard for him not to say no to Nebraska. They're in a good spot.
Both? How many are we going to take? How many edge rushers do we need?
Stop. You're not in a position to pick and choose. You need as many good players as possible. So they could get that kind of victory on a Thursday, and then most importantly, this program needs a victory. Fan base needs a victory. They need to win a football game. They have so much riding on this game. They just do. Internally, if you internally you believe that you like your team, you've got position coaches that are brand new here that say they like these guys. You come ready to play, and you find a way by 1 point to win a football game and then get on a plane and come home and your season's underway. You can't have your season end in Ireland. I mean, where then it's a long trip back and you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're like, oh. So I would be shocked. This is an email from Terry into the Equitable Bank inbox. Our discussion a little bit earlier. And hold on. I had it and I lost it. All right. Hi, guys. What I don't want to hear is
What's up, Terry?
They did X, and that meant he had to throw half our plays away.
Hopefully we're not back on that.
That's going to be a while before we live that one down. But did you notice yesterday you got an old head at quarterback who's going to turn 24 on October 3rd. That's in his wheelhouse of breaking down film. I mean,
that's just the game plan, though.
But I don't think they're going to have the issue this year where they go, Whipple goes, man, I've never seen that before. What do we do?
Full disclosure, I'm not trying to be a wet blanket. 85% of the quarterbacks in America can do that. He told you it was an even front. A guy transferred. They placed him too high, eventually get into one high. If you look at this scouting report, it'll tell you the exact same thing. So if people have read it and they study it, they'll be able to tell it to you. Like that wasn't assuring to me. I'm like, good on him for choosing to articulate that in that particular answer. He talked like an adult. But I mean,
he's played a lot of football. So
most people should be able to have those conversations and not worry about whether the people that ask you the question can hear it or not. Because when they ask you those low-hanging fruit questions, hey, what do you think you're going to get from Northwestern? Or, whatever. Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk like that, we've seen quarterbacks that use this and it goes viral all the time. Like after like the 9th or 10th or 30th time of a quarterback giving a football answer to an opponent breakdown, we shouldn't be surprised.
But he's played enough football that he's seen things that he should be able to articulate to his head.
You were dead set on saying that to me, right?
What?
That he should be. Yeah, he told you they play an even front and too high with some one high.
There are quarterbacks that don't want to go there because they know they'll get picked apart, or they think you're not going to know what I'm talking about. I mean, that's kind of he's done that before. So that doesn't move my needle. Good on him. But they need to take advantage that he's an older guy. I mean, he's seen a lot of football. Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff.
Okay.
That kind of stuff is not gonna. We're not gonna get the same crap we got last year. All right, where you all of a sudden you become one hand behind your back. If we do, basketball starts in 77 days.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles, KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. 1620, The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. The accident on Harrison has been cleared up, but now we have an accident on 72nd and Dodge. JFK northbound looks pretty stop and go. L Street between 90th and 84th has got some congestion. 80 and 680 are all good, though. My name's Conrad. This has been your morning traffic.
This time-saving traffic was brought to you by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More.
Hi, I'm Mark Evans, owner of Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More. Right now, we'll open your drain line for only $93 or it's free. Call for details or request service at justcallburton.com.
Question 5. Lucas and Carla have 3 homework assignments each. Lucas does his online at home, but Carla has no internet at home. If Carla has to travel 5 miles to find Wi-Fi at a noisy diner or a grocery store parking lot, how can she ever be expected to do well in school?
This is not a problem kids should have to solve. Cox Connect to Compete, providing affordable internet to lower-income students. Available to new residential Cox Internet customers who meet eligibility criteria. Other restrictions apply.
This should be 8 by 7. When it comes to closets, Janina's home organization business runs tip-top tidy.
Is the schedule right? I'm gonna need help.
But she needs to reorganize and find a new assistant.
I know it's your last week, but can you make sure the Hanson pantry's wrapped?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At EasyCater, food for work is our thing. Maybe that's why we get orders from 93% of Fortune 500 companies. So what's up with the other 7%?
Everyone, meet our newest employee, Susan. She has an idea that is going to revolutionize our food ordering.
Hi, Susan. So nice to meet you.
Unfortunately, she just gave her notice, and today is her last day.
I'm gonna miss her. Why don't all companies order through EasyCater? Who knows? Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on EasyCater.com. EasyCater, food for work. It's our thing.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Nebraska for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around. And every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at storycorpsconnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
Sharp and Benning in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app. Here are Gary Sharp and Damon Benning.
Halftime, sharp minute in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. And now the Television, brought to you by Harsh Cigars, Pipes, and Lounge. Great place to enjoy a nice little cocktail, relax, light up a little cigar, maybe enjoy a nice pipe. Pretty cool atmosphere located off the North 48th Street exit and Mormon Bridge Road. If nothing else, we need a game so we can stop playing these kinds of songs. That's
Chance will have a whole week of Irish music.
Oh yeah, just wait till tomorrow.
Can't wait. Sounds like a lot of fun.
All right, game week is here, 5 days away. Nebraska and Northwestern. That comment by the head coach yesterday was about the captains. They let the player vote stand. The four guys that were voted by the players were named captain. 3 on defense, 1 on offense. So that is the maybe a little bit different in the past where you had coaches maybe chimed in a little bit. I think this case it was all about the players. Again, you can't fool players. You can't lie to players.
Yeah.
They know. You can't just all of a sudden insert a guy because of a position he plays and say, hey, he's going to be one of the captains. And people go, why?
Yeah.
I didn't vote for him.
No question.
So that's what you have the 4 captains this year. Before we get to
no question.
Before we get to little Walter here, I was posed this question this weekend of our whole discussion last week about you fighting animals. Because I was playing golf on Saturday, and I thought I was at Elmwood, and there were geese everywhere. And so there was one hole that the geese would not move. Like, if you hit into them, they didn't even move. I'm like, I'm going to have to go down there with my 9-iron and just start.
Yeah, just take the pitching wedge. You can swing it a lot easier.
But this is a question that was posed to me that I would like you to answer.
Okay.
Would you rather fight a rooster to death every time you get into a car or fight an orangutan to the death once a year, but you get to use a sword? So every time you get into a car, you've got to fight a rooster to death or fight an orangutan to the death once a year, but you get to use a sword.
Does it clarify what type of chicken it is?
No, just a rooster.
I mean, at first blush, I'd take the orangutan because it's just once. But man, if I swing and miss, or he could absorb a slice and he gets his hands on me, it's dot and data. Done and done. I don't know. That's kind of tough. I'd probably every day. Gosh, that'd get old. I'd still probably take the rooster because I could guarantee that. Orangutan, I may slip. I may swing and miss. I do not want to fight an orangutan.
So this is kind of out there. And I asked the person that said to ask you, how long did you think about this? And he goes, it's one of the first things that came to my mind when you guys were talking about fighting animals last week.
Well, that one took me like 3 minutes.
I was like, wow, an orangutan with a sword? What do you do for a living? Scott Chandler is going to join us before the hour is over, but we kick off this hour with little Walter. Welcome back.
Hey, good morning, fellas. How you doing?
Good.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, you know what? I'm going to fight that rooster, man, because after I get done taking him out, I'm going to skin him, I'm going to cook him and smoke him. So,
wow.
You know, I'm just saying I come from a family of 10, and the opportunity I get to smoke something, I'm going to smoke it.
Got a family to feed.
Yeah. Hey, you know, my question to you guys this morning is Northwestern, Illinois, the setup from Illinois last year. Remember, everything was based upon that first game. We just got to get that first game. We get that first game, we get the momentum going. And it didn't happen. And momentum really never, ever continued, except maybe on the defensive side throughout games where we had chances.
Mm-hmm.
But is this the Illinois situation where Nebraska may not be able to recover from this? Or do you think now they have seasoned enough coaches and maybe even players that if something bad does happen, they can recover? That's my question to you. But I see the Huskers winning by 21. That's just my gut feeling. But I want to hear your opinion.
21
Well,
would be
Walter, thank you.
sensational. It's a great number too, by the way. No, I don't think this year more than any. I would say probably the players could recover quicker than the coaching staff would. I don't think the coaching staff would recover.
I'm with you. We're in
The-
lockstep here.
The players are probably more built this year. And this, you never know what you're
Yeah.
going to get. I think it's just a special set of ingredients this year. I don't think the staff could recover. And I would give now if the staff said, hey, we're going to be in our fields here for a while with one another, you guys figure it out. I do believe that the players may be able to find a way quicker than the coaches. Is that weird?
It seems to be a flip of last year where guys in helmets were not as stable as the guys in the headsets.
Mhm.
And then you know what happened at the end of the year. Again, we don't know the Saturday dynamic of game day with certain coaches working together for the first time. When the guy that is in charge he's not in the middle of things. We just, what's that going to be like in the fourth quarter? Or when a key decision has to be made, whether fourth quarter, third quarter, second quarter, first quarter, how all of them interact together. Because it's different when you're going through a fall camp and you got guys on headsets and they're discussing while you're scrimmaging or doing, some other stuff compared to they're keeping score.
Mm-hmm.
There's a band, there's cheerleaders, there's fans, and you got to make split decisions. That's the fascinating part of this year of how all of those guys work together on Saturday for the common goal.
Asian Wyatt told me that roosters are kind of, I can't use the term he used, buttholes. He said roosters are buttholes. I wouldn't want to deal with that smoke every day.
Just to get in and drive your car, fight a rooster, or once a year, fight an orangutan with a sword. But you have to fight both of them to death.
T-Mo said Oklahoma Titans, you're gonna get caught slipping one day, and that rooster's gonna F you up.
I mean,
wow. two of my guys for Team Rooster today. But do you know what an orangutan would do though?
It will kill you.
It will kill me.
I know.
Like you have
right hook, Clyde.
I'd feel more
They're
comfortable.
ridiculously strong.
The reach an orangutan has,
no question.
Like even with a sword, I'd be like,
yeah, man.
You give me a spear, maybe.
I'm not
a sword.
Samurai. I don't know how to wield that thing. Give me the rooster.
I mean, eventually you'll get pretty good at just grabbing it and breaking its neck like it's a pack of spaghetti. So,
dude, I'm telling you, man.
You know,
I take it you did not watch Every Which Way But Loose or Any Which Way You Can with Clint Eastwood when he had Clyde.
Yeah, but
his orangutan.
Clyde could kill.
Clyde could kill.
Clyde's is a big, strong. They have like 3 times my strength.
Clyde can also drive a car.
But remember, you'd have a sword.
Yeah, but I'd have to get close to like
There'd be a long sword,
8-foot wingspan. This thing would come bumbling at me, and I'd screw it up, man. I'd slip. I'd miss. I don't want to get bit by those things.
Like
either.
you would call him Grape Ape, and then he'd be too young to get that reference, and then you just start scrapping.
It'd be in.
Like country music television's got to show like Every Which Way But Loose once in a while. I went to the movie theater and watched Every Which Way But Loose.
You can get like
right turn, Clyde. I think I said right hook, right turn, Clyde.
Yeah, you can get a bunch of old Eastwood movies in like a big DVD pack that has like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them.
In the bundle at Walmart where they say $1 and people dig. Have you ever been there where people are digging way down?
In the bins?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember Shane got, what'd he get out of there that he paid $2 for? What DVD? Was it Spaceballs?
I think so.
Mel Brooks.
Yeah. I think he got Spaceballs.
He was very proud of it.
On the cheap, digging in those bins. I used to get shoes out of the bin. Did you ever have, like at Osco or Skaggs or something where you get your shoes out of the, you had to match them?
Mm-hmm.
I was that dude. I don't get in bins too much, though.
Not nowadays.
Except my dumping bin.
How's that going? Are we all set to move?
Not quite. Getting there. I mean, the house is trash, so it's driving me crazy, but.
When do you officially take over the new place?
Closing is today.
Okay.
But can't move until tomorrow because there was a barter. 1 extra day to move to keep the washer and dryer.
Okay. That seems fair.
It's a fantastic washer and dryer too.
All right. So the person is completely out of the house that you're.
No, they're
okay.
pretty close, right? I saw
All
a lot
right.
of cleaning supplies. And gosh, he left the heater in the garage, the mower.
Mm.
He's a good dude.
You don't have to buy a mower.
Mm-mm.
What about a snowblower?
Yeah, his is nice, but I bet he's taking that.
Did you just walk through his garage going, "Hey, that's"?
And he has shelvings along the wall and cabinets. It's like an official adult, like stereotypical guy garage, and I'm gonna waste the whole thing.
You don't even know what to do.
I was
You
like,
put your tools out there.
hey, I was like,
You do a little woodworking in the garage.
right.
Is it big enough that we can set up a net during the winter? We can do batting lessons.
No, not quite.
Okay,
Not quite.
Get yourself a table saw.
I need to call.
yeah, I think you could be like I could see you working with wood in the garage.
I am gonna totally do a phone a friend though, because I want to extend this portion in the kitchen and put the washroom up there. And from what I heard, it's fairly straightforward.
Yeah, knock a wall out.
Yeah, but I got a guy.
There you go.
I got a guy.
Chuck.
Oh, it's Milliken.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
That's like,
you have a guy for everything.
and
a
he's
good- that's a-
pretty good. That's what he does.
That's a good guy to have.
right.
Dave says, if Nebraska loses, does Frost even fly back with the team, or will he find a bar filled with Irish drunks and coaches, the local soccer team? Will he stay and be like Ted Lasso?
That wasn't necessary.
Nope.
I just think the staff is stressed, so I don't want them to have to deal with a loss. I think it is a very high-strung group, right? And we've already we've already proven. I mean, I'm not chastising you guys, but I do believe we have proven that we are not mature enough to handle. We're just not mature enough to handle like news. You know, the puke thing grew legs, and people blamed it on the media, and the media was like, well, we're just reporting what he said, no big deal. Then it went back and forth, and then he issues an opening statement where he talks about it, and people were like, see, you Nebraska people don't know how to take a joke. No, that wasn't why he issued the apology. I mean, I hate to burst you guys' bubbles that like to poke fun and say that people took it out of context and he was joking. I hate to burst your bubbles, but he was not talking to us with that apology. He couldn't care one iota what we said. He didn't care one iota what you guys said. He was talking to his staff, period, point blank. Write it down.
And that's why he addressed it right away instead
He was
of later in
talking to
presser.
his staff.
Hmm?
So for all the fun and games you thought folks were having, and should we have paid attention to it or not, he wasn't talking to us.
Yeah, someone on his staff was not very happy with what
so
he said.
You guys you're just going to have to come to grips with that.
All right, couple of things here.
It's nobody's fault.
No, I mean,
it
glad he addressed
was such dumb conversation. Like I couldn't mute enough accounts. I'm like, you guys are you don't even have any idea what you're talking about. Like, you're way wrong on this. You're way wrong. But people just kept on, and they would go back and forth with each other, and they just kept on. Like,
now was it you and I were talking because
we moved on. I said, listen,
yeah.
man, it's not going to land well, but it didn't move my needle. I said, there's no way that's going to land well, but I understood, because you never know if he's being sarcastic or he's being straightforward. And we kept it pushing. The only thing that got my attention was when Searle said something,
Mm-hmm.
because most players let it ride.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything on Twitter. I didn't say anything on the show because I really didn't care, right? It was like,
And if he was going to address it yesterday, it would have been probably later. Somebody would bring it up. He addressed it on his own, which led you to believe that somebody was not happy with what he said. I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
That somebody on the staff was like, whoa. That puts me in a bad light. Because I said it to you. I said, the first thing I thought of is, man, he's taking a swipe at somebody that either is a player or
and
is
I
a
don't
coach.
even think it was a swipe. I think he was trying to let us know that they're working. I said that real time on the show. I think he's trying to let us know that they're working. At whose expense that is, I didn't know.
somebody that doesn't wear a headset, I think, was upset.
Yeah.
Dan responds on Twitter. Now, this is our discussion about the orangutan.
Come here, Rooster.
Now, this would be interesting. Do you know the date of the orangutan fight, or is it a surprise attack?
I'm not.
So once a year, you either. So this is the question. Every day to
Why
get in
would
your
people
car.
ask you this?
Well, because this might factor in. I don't know. Maybe there's a different part of the year that's good for orangutans.
Why did he pick a sword? I don't even know how to wield a sword.
Like, do you have to have a sword and a scabbard slung over your shoulder every
what?
day? A scabbard. That's what a sword goes in.
Oh, you know, Damon, a scabbard. Yeah.
Oh, I thought those were sheaths.
I think a knife goes in a sheath.
Stickler.
Well, okay.
So do you know the
A
date?
scabbard is a big sheath.
Do you know the date of the orangutan fight, or is it a surprise attack? No, you know the date going in. Like it's November 2nd. This is the day that you have to kill the orangutan. Don says, imagine orangutan as an edge rusher.
I know, long arms.
Just
But
a
you
little
can't-
swim move.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have much weight. You might be able to, you could block him out of the way if you get away from the arms.
Shoot, my main man, Sadie, he said that a rooster sent his wife to the hospital. Scratched her and got infected for 2 hours. I'm still sticking with the rooster, though. Yeah, me too. Plus, I could use a club or something if I want to. Or do I have to use my bare hands?
Every day you can use something different.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Can't you just shoot the rooster
listen,
every day?
I'm 60 yards out with a pitching wedge. I'm way good.
Like you can use one of those little grabbers for old people every time you get into your car. Like, come here.
And the gun's no fun. Like, I'm not just gonna shoot a rooster.
John says, I don't, in the Equitable Bank inbox, I don't like to eat chicken enough to kill one every time I get in a car. I would take the orangutan.
No. Well, hold on. You're not thinking creatively. Side hustle, selling chicken. Hey, you want some chicken?
I still want to see the person that asked you this question.
It is somebody that was a little bit older.
I'm not fighting an orangutan if I have the choice.
They stopped me. They listen to our show every day, and they're like, "I've been thinking about this. I was going to email it, but I ran into you."
Bad listen.
All right, Scott Shanley. We'll ask him the question.
No, man, don't
Coming
ask
up
him
at
that.
in about 20 minutes or 15 minutes, I should say. Jimmy Watkins stops by as well. Will Jimmy or Casey Thompson have more confidence in their appearance today? We don't talk about winning enough. I'm glad they talk about winning. You know, Casey Thompson has not won. That surprise you? I'm like in charge of a winning team. I'm glad that he said, I want to win. It's okay. Caleb Tanner said, great being a captain.
He should have.
I want to win.
What if he'd have stayed at Texas? Would he have beaten out Card?
Well, here's a. Okay, let me drop this in. Can we just play what if real quick?
What if Quinn Ewers had a regular haircut?
No. What if Casey Thompson would have started against Arkansas instead of Card? Would that been enough to?
I don't know.
Get him to 6
I watched
wins?
Arkansas and LSU last night. I don't think that'd have gone well either.
Oh, you have the feel.
I don't know why that was on replay, but it was.
Because it's game week. We're getting closer.
Hey, and how did Ed Ogeron fall from grace so quick?
We got to go to break, or I would be able to rattle off about 45 minutes
Just
of.
because he jogs with tight shirts?
Well, he
No
jogs.
shirts?
He jogs with no shirts.
Gumbo's too spicy.
Go Tigers.
And now he hangs out with Mario Cristobal at Miami's
Yeah, that's
practices.
two big personalities, boy.
All right, sharp and betting in the morning. Yes, two big personalities along with Chance. 16:20 the zone.
Irrational confidence.
I want to go back to the original situation. The plane is fine. Everything about the plane is fine, except for the pilot is no longer able to fly the plane. And I am the only person left in a working, usable plane that has no technical issues.
But you can land that plane?
I can land that plane.
Irrational confidence. The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Watch out for patchy dense fog during the morning drive Monday. Most fog should lift by around 9 a.m. Then sunny and warm conditions the rest of the day with a light southeast breeze. Highs around 87. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. There's an accident blocking the center lane on Dodge and 144th. There's also an accident on 108th and Q, and a third accident on 13th. Other than that, JFK northbound is stop and go. 680 and 80, nothing. And L Street and Dodge look like normal commutes. My name's Conrad. This has been your morning traffic.
Planning a trip to Arrowhead Stadium this upcoming season, and the NFL season's right around the corner. The Chiefs and the Chargers open up on a Thursday night. Tickets for Less is going to be your best friend. They've got an exclusive special. They continue until 5 today. Get you 20% off all Chief home game tickets. Chiefs and the Chargers, Chiefs and the Bills, the rest of the AFC West, the other great games that are on the docket. You don't want to miss the Thursday nights, the Monday nights, and those prime time late Sunday afternoon showdowns at Arrowhead. Go to ticketsforless.com. Find the seats that you want. Pick them out. They got a great selection. Then you got to pick up the phone. Call 402-398-1999, their office right here in Omaha, 402-398-1999, and they'll apply the discount over the phone. So go to ticketsforless.com, select your seats for any Chiefs home game, and then make the call, 402-398-1999, and they're going to get you 20% off all Chiefs home game tickets. Until 5 today, tell them Gary sent you.
Announcing the Nebraska Lottery's Your Park Second Chance promotion. Enter any non-winning $5 Nebraska State Park scratch ticket for a chance to win a 2-night stay in a beautiful cabin at one of our state parks. Top prize odds, 1 in 88,000.
Malarkey shingles are durable, high performance, impact resistant, and beautiful. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is a certified Malarkey shingle residential contractor. For a free estimate, call Carp's Complete Exteriors or visit carpsomaha.com.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear, shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're certified transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
As the end of summer draws near, the vacation season is just starting for customers at Greenberg's Jewelers. For a very limited time, when you make a purchase of $3,000 or more at Greenberg's, you'll get a $500 gift card to use for airfare to one of over 100 destinations in the U.S. and Mexico. If you were thinking about an engagement ring in the next few months, it's time to buy the ring now. Considering a gorgeous diamond pendant or anniversary ring? Get it now from Greenberg's and get free airfare. Imagine the look on her face when the engagement is topped off with a honeymoon or vacation to Cancun, Las Vegas, New York City, Los Angeles, or one of many other destinations. Greenberg's has the absolute latest styles in jewelry, stackable rings, stunning solitaires, love story rings, dazzling pendants, and of course, hearts on fire diamonds are all at Greenberg's. And get a $500 airfare gift card from Greenberg's Jewelers with any purchase of $3,000 or more. But hurry, a deal like this won't last. Greenberg's Jewelers, West Roads Mall, a cut above the rest. Some restrictions apply.
The Ford truck lineup is purpose-built from the ground up, designed to be tough and productive. Crafted with high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and torture-tested high-strength steel frame with new tech to help you work smart and hard. The F-150, Ranger, and Maverick are built tough and ready to tackle whatever lies ahead. Hit the road in confidence and learn more about Ford trucks in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseFord.com, your trusted truck dealer since 1975. Woodhouse Ford.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Sharpen betting in the morning on 1620 The Zone. 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app.
Hey, how about Dennis Rodman this weekend? Dennis Rodman's going to Russia.
Yeah, he said, I know Putin too well. All right, then, Dennis. Wouldn't that be so 2022-ish?
Is he going to get Brittany?
Yes, he's going to get Brittany
So,
Griner.
you know, all this consternation, hand-wringing. Oh, she's an idiot. She deserved it. She's been blah, blah, blah. Or man, 9 years, that's too harsh. Whatever, get her out. Like, whatever you feel. And Rodman just moseys on up in there. He's like, hey, yo, Putin, I know you guys been doing all this negotiating, man. The U.S. would have to give you some pretty bad dudes, but let's just call this even, okay? We'll go out a couple nights on the town, on my tab, wrestle a few bears, whoop a few orangutans, eat a few roosters. Let's get old BG home, okay? And Putin will be like, yeah, okay.
He's hung with Kim, which is arguably way more dangerous than Putin.
Yeah, oh, you're splitting hairs, though.
You breathe the wrong way in North Korea, you disappear forever.
Hey, Dennis Rodman, though, being a key figure in international relations with North Korea and Russia, will never not be funny. But I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't either. Rodman gets things done.
Use your power for good.
Scott Shanley is coming up here in a little bit. But first, here is Scott.
What the?
Good morning,
Hey,
gentlemen.
good morning, Scott.
You know he knows that word.
We are all excited for football, obviously.
Hi, buddy.
And we're talking about orangutans, which is hilarious. DB, I think you're spot on. But I had one question. Do you have to fight the orangutan inside your car? Because if it's inside the car, man, you got no chance. Hit the ticket every single day. Hey, I hope your son has a great football season too, DB.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah. If there's an orangutan in my car, I'm not even getting in.
So the orangutan is in the car, and then you open the door. Can you coax either the orangutan out or it's not leaving? Remember, this is one time a year. You got to kill the orangutan with the sword.
Well, as we have established with Every Which Way But Lose, an orangutan can drive a car. So you better get it out of there. Otherwise, it's just going to start it and run you down.
Let's go to the zoo, and we can walk around the zoo, and you just go, yep, I'd kill that one, that one. I'd have trouble with that one. That rhinoceros, I wouldn't mess with. Because we can go see the orangutans at the Henry Dorley Zoo.
Do that in the aquarium, too?
No, why? Leave penguins alone.
No. I'm talking about like not the penguins, like the
dolphins?
We don't have dolphins.
Don't they have dolphins?
No.
Who?
The zoo.
No, I think we have a dolphin or two, don't we?
Maybe.
No.
We
I don't think we do.
Not
St.
at
Louis.
Henry Dorley.
The St. Louis Zoo has dolphins, I think.
No, see, we don't have dolphins because the
cold.
Well, that and the tank.
Oh, okay.
There's no place for them to empty the spout because then you'd have to bring them out into the open. You know what I mean? They would hit their head on like the top of the tank.
You know, this whole discussion, we need to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have to.
We need to bring back the monthly visit from our friends at Henry Dorley Zoo, and they just bring an animal in here.
No, they did that next door, and I got awkward.
It was great the way they brought in here. They brought like a sloth.
It's just weird.
What was awkward about it?
They would bring like just off the wall animals.
It's just weird. I mean,
Did a crocodile give you a side eye?
No. I was watching Gators get stuff with Buddha in yesterday on Twitter, but no.
Is it personal?
About
the animal?
No, it's just like if I wasn't working, it was fine. They'd always bring him in the studio, and I was like, okay,
yeah.
But if I was if I was over there and I was just doing it for fun, that's fine.
Yeah,
but I don't want to be.
Well, you're on the air.
Yeah.
While a snake is around your neck.
Yeah. Although the snake would be the least of my concerns. It was the little ugly furry thing that you couldn't, like, you'd want to sit down or, not defecate in here or something like that.
Or on you.
Snakes are fine.
You really don't want anybody defecating on you that's not related to you. You got kids. All right. Scott Shanley coming up next.
You could win $5,000 to have the ultimate tailgate party on 1620 The Zone. Enter now at 1620thezone.com.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
You want to go to a professional sporting event, you want to go to a college sporting event, you want to go to a play, you want to go to a concert. Go where I go, ticketsforless.com. When I'm looking to find the best seats to the show or the big game, I go to ticketsforless.com, formerly Ticket Express. Same great customer service, and most importantly with ticketsforless.com, no outrageous ticket fees when you get ready to check out. The ticket price you see is always the price you pay. Unlike the other guys, they don't tack on a per-ticket service fee at checkout. It's ticketsforless.com. Get yourself in the game today.
After 24 years, Horseman's Park will close for major renovations on Sunday, September 18th. The original simulcast facility will be changed forever, so don't miss this final opportunity to watch and wager on over 700 TVs with weekly food and drink specials, door prizes, and so much more. Time is running out to be a part of Nebraska's horse racing history. Now through September 18th, open 7 days a week. Horseman's Park, Omaha's best bet.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Are you a self-proclaimed introvert?
Oh, 100%.
You'll love Bite. You can align your teeth with confidence without ever having to leave your home.
No dentist visits?
Not when you order clear teeth aligners from Bite.com. That's BYTE.com. Bite's at-home treatment plans are doctor-directed and start as low as $82 a month. Order your at-home impression kit for just $14.95. That's over 80% off. Just visit Bite.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your clear aligner journey with Bite.
Why for over 50 years has the McCarthy's promise been always on time or you don't pay a dime? Because at McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air, customer service has always set them apart. Whether it's new installation or repair of your AC or furnace, you're entrusting that work to a McCarthy's trained, certified, and drug-tested service tech. Every job comes with a UN guarantee backed nationwide by the best customer service contractors. For heating and AC repair or replacement, you win with McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air. Always on time or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's1hour.com.
West Omaha, you're in for a treat. Cops is now open at 180th and Center. Famous for their pizza and wings, but with their new location comes an extensive new menu that includes salmon, certified Angus beef fillets, ribeyes and sirloins, several pasta dishes, salads, and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Now open at Shadow Lake Town Center and 180th and Center. Click copspizza.com to see the menu. Pizza, steaks, pasta, salads, and so much more.
Need to replace your Social Security card? In most states, you can request one online with a My Social Security account. A My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal earnings history and benefit status. You can also get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
The best part of your summer night is listening to Royals baseball on 1620 The Zone.
Sharp and betting in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app.
All right, through week 2 of the preseason, another game tonight. Getting closer to 53 being settled. There were some Giants fans that were unsettled last night We'll talk about the Thaddeus Moss block on Kayvon Thibodeau in just a moment as we welcome in Scott Shanley. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hey, let's start
Scott,
there.
good morning.
Because I was watching that game last night, texting back and forth with a diehard Giants fan, and they've invested in Thibodeau, and he loves him. And then in this game, Thaddeus Moss on a block goes low, Thibodeau goes down. Thibodeau, they think, is going to be okay. But we've kind of talked about this in the past. As a defensive guy, and we find out that, everybody in the NFL teaches their tight ends to cut block, and the Bengals cut block a lot. How do you prevent this? Because there was the response of, hey, this is a dirty play. No, you're taught to do this. And then there was, well, Thibodeau should learn how to get lower against a cut block. How is the best way to approach a team that cut blocks as much as the Bengals do?
Well, I'll tell you, first and foremost, the best way to get ready for cut blocks is to not practice the way NFL teams are practicing in training camps now. I mean, a lot of these guys don't see a cut block live until they get into a game. It's just the nature of what the players union has done in terms of negotiating away revenue for practice time. And these are things that are going to happen like this, I think, more often. As a defense player, listen, I wish you'd get rid of all cut blocks. Cut blocks are brutal, but you have to train your body. Everything is muscle memory. Mm-hmm. And I remember playing the Houston Texans and the Broncos and all these teams that run the zone schemes with the undersized linemen who are fast and they're getting up on you quick and they're diving, going straight for your knees and ankles. And you have to get low. You have to use your hands. You have to ricochet off their shoulder pads and their helmets. And unless you do those things full speed and get used to seeing those things like this are going to happen more often. It's an unfortunate injury. And I'm not saying that had they had 2-a-days like they used to do and a lot more padded practices that he wouldn't have got hurt. But I just think guys are not trained the same way they were going into these games just even a few years ago when there were a lot more padded practices.
Hey, so when you're watching or you're playing in preseason, are there any takeaways that you think are portable when you're actually watching an NFL preseason game that would lend itself towards the regular season?
I don't know if there's a lot of things that I watch and say, this guy is gonna be really good just based on this preseason game. Or, a lot of times you're looking at young guys, seeing athletically, how do they match up against some of the other greatest athletes in the world? Were they everything that they were hyped up to be? And even that's kind of hard to tell because both offense and defense are so vanilla that you're not really doing a whole lot. But you can get a good idea of a guy pass protecting or a guy pass rushing or a corner covering man-to-man or a linebacker covering a running back man-to-man. Do they have the skill set that's going to translate? So those are little things, game within the game, that you can take away. But the preseason has been so watered down that there's not a whole lot that translates to the season. I think the biggest thing for me, the preseason shows you whether or not a team is going to have depth. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from a team's aspect that I take from these games.
Safe to say, Damon and I were just talking about this a little while ago about more on the college side for Nebraska. But issues in preseason are going to be an issue in the season?
No, I don't necessarily think that, just because it's hard to see with the full roster out there with all the starters. Teams are not even really playing starters anymore during the preseason. It used to be the third preseason game when there were 4 preseason games. That was the dress rehearsal. Everybody would play their starters, the first half. And it seems like people aren't really even willing to do that, even dress guys anymore. So I don't know how much there is that you can take away. Cause I remember playing teams in the preseason that we would just get after, just kill score wise. And then you face them in the regular season and end up losing the game, or it was a really good game. So it's really hard to tell because of the way different teams and organizations approach preseason schematically and with who they're even putting in the game.
Yeah. So no takeaways from the Bills scoring on 6 straight possessions, or is that one of those things where you're thinking, you know what, then those guys are going to be pretty good?
Yeah, I think preseason or not, I think the Bills are going to be pretty good. They got a heck of a quarterback, and I think they're very well coached. And everybody saw last year in that Chiefs game, it doesn't guarantee the Bills are going to be in that position again or they're going to win the Super Bowl. But you just get this feeling that they're an organization on the rise, and they have a quarterback who's going to be there for a long time. So that gives them a chance.
Yeah, it was kind of unbelievable considering Keenum had 2 incompletions. Barkley had 1. Josh Allen had none. And I'm thinking, even if you're on air, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely phenomenal. I think it speaks to, everybody's going to look at Allen as the quarterback during the regular season. We know he's going to get every rep as long as he can walk. But I think it speaks volumes about the quarterback coach they have, or the offensive coordinator they have, or the head coach, the way they're conducting practice, how serious they're taking these games. Because, like I said, organizational, team-wise, coaching-wise, some people take these games more serious than others, and maybe that's a sign that the Bills they have depth, first of all. Anybody can play, and you need that when you get in the regular season.
How are you selling hope in Seattle?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, gosh, doesn't it feel like forever ago that the Legion of Boom was playing some of the best defense in the history of the NFL, and Russell Wilson was this gem of a find, and none of that exists anymore. And that's the NFL. That's professional sports. Things change so fast. Free agency, contracts, especially in football. When guys are 25, 5 years later at 30, they're a different type of player. Most guys at most positions. So I just, we say all the time on here, at the quarterback position, you either have hope or despair. I don't know if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan that you feel comfortable with the guys that are going to line up every week, 17 games under center. And it really shocked me. Is Baker Mayfield an upgrade over those guys? I have no idea. I don't know. Only time will tell. But I think by making a trade, giving up a 5th or 4th rounder for Baker Mayfield, maybe gave your fan base hope. But if you're not even going to have hope, you're probably not going to sell tickets. It could be a long year in Seattle, especially in that division. The NFC West is pretty good.
Scott Chantley joining us here on Sharp and Betting in the Morning. Before I ask you about a certain aspect of the Washington-Kansas City game, anybody have any idea what's happened to Antonio Gibson?
Came and gone.
Well, I didn't catch that. What was that, Damon?
Oh, I just said it seems like he's come and gone.
Oh yeah, it's weird. I mean, those guys who flash, the position I think lends to that as well. Sometimes you get guys who will flash. Sometimes maybe teams alter scheme a little bit. That helps those guys as well. It'll be interesting as far as that goes.
Then there's watching, Mahomes against the Commander defense in that entire game, and both sides with their quarterbacks. And I don't know if this is a point of emphasis again, or this is just going to be something you have to live with. But I hate when holding is called on tackles when the quarterback leaves the pocket. And I've seen other offensive linemen talk about this. They have no idea if their quarterback has left the pocket. What are they supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that if you ask a lot of linemen, they will say it is hard blocking for guys who can run, guys who can make plays outside the pocket. We as fans, we absolutely love watching those guys. They're exciting to the game. As a defensive player, hated playing guys like that because the fabric of your defense would break down once they got outside the pocket. But if you're protecting for those guys, you like to take your pass set, protect. We used to call it the X on the X where the quarterback is going to stand in the pocket. Those guys know that kick slide, they're going to take away the inside. They're going to make you run around, and hopefully that quarterback steps up in the pocket. But if that guy doesn't and he tries to bubble the defensive end, now as a tackle, your last effort, your last stand is really to try to snag that outside shoulder pad of the defensive end so he can't come off and get that quarterback who's trying to escape. So it does add pressure for those guys, but it's another thing. You just got to get used to it. You got to know the type of guy you're playing with and how to adjust to that part of the game.
Listen, Hurst, when healthy, can play. You like Pete McCoy. Cesar Ruiz was a great pick. Ramczyk is the guy. What's the expectation level for Jameis Winston this year?
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of pressure on Jameis. I'm telling you. When I was at practice a couple weeks ago,
I mean, you got Olave and Landry.
Yeah, I mean, that defense, first of all, is phenomenal. They're flying under the radar. That defense is a big reason why they've beaten Tom Brady 4 out of 5 times since Brady's ran with Tampa Bay. But offensively, this is as loaded of a wide receiver position as I can remember. A lot of it's going to be determined on if Michael Thomas is going to be able to come back from this ankle injury. He's missed really 2 years of football. But Olave is, to me, he's going to be a special player. He's so wise beyond his years. It's almost he's been a 4 or 5 year veteran. He's smooth in his routes. He's hard to cover. I think he could be a breakout guy, especially in that offense. But to your point, there's a ton of pressure on Jameis Winston. And there's not only can Jameis just take care of the football? Jameis is going to have to win some games. Jameis is going to have to throw the ball well, and he does. He's got a strong arm. It's going to open the vertical part of their offense. But that offensive line, they drafted Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa in the first round. They have huge expectations for him taking over for Armstead, who went to Miami Dolphins at the left tackle position. So they are as good on paper as really any NFL team in the league. It just comes down to, what are we going to get out of Jameis Winston? And that's the question, not only from fans, people watching the Saints, but within the organization. Can he do it for 17 weeks?
I'm sure Todd Bowles realizes, and he does, that their biggest concern is all the injuries on offensive line. But because his quarterback may be coming back into camp today, what do you think has gone on with Tom Brady, and what do you think it'll be like with him coming back to start the season?
Yeah, I mean, eventually we all sit here and say, as former players, Father Time catches us all. And here's this guy that just keeps on putting up 4,000, 5,000 yard passing seasons, in the running for MVPs. And it's going to be interesting because it doesn't matter who you are. Eventually, if you just keep saying Father Time is going to catch Tom Brady, eventually you'll be right. It just matters how long he continues to play. I think this could be the year where maybe his play drops up a little bit. Still probably be among the top 10 in the NFL, just because his timing of the game, his mental part of the game, getting rid of the ball quick, his fit in that offense, which is really his offense, really helps him. I think Leftwich has done a good job of working with Brady, and they have a good chemistry. That wide receiver core is still really good. Leonard Fournette showing up to camp at 260 and losing Gronk is probably the story of this preseason and training camp. Can this team be the same team without Gronk? There's certain guys that are just kind of a spark plug in offenses. And can this team pick up where they left off? They still have a lot of talent, but that doesn't always equate to chemistry and winning every year.
Scott, when you're trying to look at this whole NFC North and with Green Bay and Detroit, and what would it take? What kind of player do you think would fit with a guy like Dan Campbell?
Listen, I think anybody who's watched Hard Knocks and seen Dan Campbell, they've seen the guy that I was fortunate enough to play with the Dallas Cowboys. This guy every day wakes up and he's going to add to your locker room in any way. He'll run block for you. He'll do whatever he needs to do. And as a coach, I can see those players and the way that when he speaks, how they respect him, and they know what the expectation is. So any player who is willing to do what you're supposed to do, play hard, be accountable, no mental errors, do those things the right way, you will be a favorite of Dan Campbell. Just like Parcells, Peyton, all those guys, they all come from the same tree. But I think Bill Parcells always said this. He said, when you have a tough quarterback, your team has a chance. And Jared Goff has to prove that he has that toughness mentally and physically, because your team will react to that. And I'm not so sure. We've seen Jared Goff take a team to the Super Bowl, been there, part of a team that went to a Super Bowl. I just don't know who the real Jared Goff is, or if he's that guy in Detroit. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't bring in some more competition at that position.
Hey, as a guy that's worked closely with the NFLPA, you understand business. I'm looking at guys like Lamar Jackson, and they want to handle their own contracts. Man, what would it take for Scott Shanley to say, hey, you know what? I want to handle my own negotiations?
Yeah, I think, for me, it would take where you almost feel like there's a slot where you fit in amongst other players at your position. If you can identify a guy who, it's hard for players to do this. It's hard for guys to say, yeah, okay, I admit this guy is better than me. This guy is not better than me. I'm going to go sit down and I'm going to say, I can admit to you as a quarterback that I'm not in Patrick Mahomes, maybe not Josh Allen's category, but I am certainly better than Kyler Murray. I'm better than this guy. If you can do that and you can slot yourself, I think you can get away with negotiating your own contract and saving that 2 or 3% in commissions. But at the end of the day, I don't know if it's worth it. I think there's a lot of hurt feelings that when a team has to negotiate and sit across from you and tell you the truth of what they really feel about you and why they're offering you that amount, I think it's just much easier to have an agent be that buffer and pay that guy that 2 or 3%.
Yeah, very interesting what Lamar is doing. Scott, as always, we appreciate it. Any feel for the upcoming season up here?
Listen, I have so much hope and high expectations for the Huskers. It's not just because I grew up there and I lived out my childhood dream playing for Nebraska. I always have hope, but I really feel like Nebraska is a sleeping giant for this season, and a lot of it, they have their transfers. I love the transfers. I think the defense is going to be a lot tougher than a lot of people think. I'm excited about seeing this new offense, but I think the schedule sets up perfect for Nebraska to open a lot of eyes, and that gives me a lot of hope. I think the schedule sets up perfect for Nebraska to wake up a lot of people.
I appreciate it. Scott, we'll talk to you next Monday.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, take care. Yep.
It's, Scott Shanley, former Husker, black shirt, and Super Bowl champion with the Saints. All right, one more hour to go. Jimmy Watkins stops by.
Jimmy.
His thoughts on what is ahead as it is now game week. Will Casey Thompson throw the ball 25 times or more? If he does on Saturday. One thing, or also 5 straight years a Frost quarterback has run for 500 yards or more. Will this be the year that they do not?
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has been making your game day experience one to remember for 18 years with our award-winning char-buffed wings at $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. But now your game day just got bigger and better with Oscar's newly upgraded audio-video system. Cheer on your favorite teams this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall, showing up to 8 games at once, and of course, 40 TVs and massive dual projectors. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
Well, tell us Italian breads and bakers. We are good to go. Why? Well, gosh, you have so many options from brat buns to hamburger buns to hoagie rolls. Maybe you want brioche. Maybe it's another kind of a specialty roll. The same great taste, the same great texture. It's something to behold. Why? Well, a lot of it has to do with the quality key ingredients. Those are non-negotiables when it comes to Rotellas. They've done it for a long time, so I think they have a good handle on what works. Plus, when you combine it with a little bit of the love touch and also the new technologies with science, man, you've got long-lasting tradition. True to their roots, they're going to be as wonderful in store as the product is out of store, because that is just who they are. So visit your nearest grocer or visit rotellasbakery.com.
1620, The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, there's an accident blocking the center lane on Dodge and 144th. There's also an accident on 108th and Q, and a third accident on 13th. Other than that, JFK northbound is stop and go. 680 and 80, nothing. And L Street and Dodge look like normal commutes. My name's Conrad. This has been your morning traffic.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has been making your game day experience one to remember for 18 years with our award-winning char-buffed wings at $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. But now your game day just got bigger and better with Oscar's newly upgraded audio-video system. Cheer on your favorite teams this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall, showing up to 8 games at once, and of course, 40 TVs and massive dual projectors. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Hey everyone, it's John with Saul's. Great jewelry is always in fashion, and we have it all at Saul's. From diamond bracelets to rings to earrings and those one-of-a-kind gold pieces that you can't find anywhere else, and so much more. Smart shoppers start here at Saul's.
The Ford truck lineup is purpose-built from the ground up, designed to be tough and productive. Crafted with high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and torture-tested high-strength steel frame with new tech to help you work smart and hard. The F-150, Ranger, and Maverick are built tough and ready to tackle whatever lies ahead. Hit the road in confidence and learn more about Ford trucks in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseFord.com, your trusted truck dealer since 1975. Woodhouse Ford.
Enjoy one last taste of summer before it's all gone. Join us at the Croc Center for Rally Day. This family fun event will feature live music, kids games, food trucks, and much more. It's happening Friday, August 26th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Croc Center, 28th and Y Street. Admission is free. All are welcome. Again, join us for Rally Day, Friday, August 26th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. For more details, go to omahacroc.org. That's omahakroc.org.
NRG Media is a locally focused company with a full suite of digital advertising products, and we're recruiting for a digital marketing salesperson. If you're looking to grow in a sales role that lets you create unique marketing campaigns for businesses by using products like OTT, targeted display, social media, and more, send your resume to salesomaha@nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Sharp and Benning in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app. Here are Gary Sharp and Damon Benning.
Oh, my Lord.
Week 5 last year.
Man.
56 points, 664 yards that Nebraska put up on Northwestern. Marks on Pat Fitzgerald's resume that had never been accomplished before. Now 5 days away, Nebraska and Northwestern. They meet in Dublin, Ireland, and we meet Jimmy Watkins from the Omaha World Herald. Good morning, sir. I guess we should say top of the morning, Jimmy.
Top of the morning, Gary. It's good to have the band back together.
Yeah.
It's good to have football back. I am.
Hey,
How you guys doing?
So,
Good.
the comment there from Scott yesterday, what do you think that he thinks has been written that is wrong about his team that he's going to show you beginning on Saturday?
I love the idea of Scott just reading everyone crucifying his vomit takes or his vomit. I don't know what you want to call it, whatever he said about the puking on the radio show last week, and that he's trying to use that as motivation. I think he would be referring to the Irish Times story that just sort of laid out all the bad things that has been happening under his watch at the program. I don't know. I think that's the only thing I can think of. I feel like the coverage around here has mostly been pretty positive because they've been pretty positive, and to a certain extent, we can only work with what they're giving us. So I think he's talking about that Irish Times story. That's another, but I find that another weird thing to be upset by. And also, like, Irish Times guy, what a party pooper, right? Like, everyone in the country is presumably very excited to get some football. They don't get a ton of this kind of thing, particularly not college football. Nebraska is a storied program. This guy's like, actually, guys, we'll just douse all your fires. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's weird too, because like I can tell you 10 truths and not have any of it really be relevant to what is actually upcoming, right? Like that doesn't let somebody off the hook because it needed context. But anyway, Jimmy, I say all that to say, in your opinion, as far as you can tell, are they intertwined, or who needs the game more, coaches or players?
I think it's the players, because the coaches can like what they see. They can say everything that they're saying to try to project confidence and instill confidence in the players. At the end of the day, the best way, the tried and truest way to build confidence is to actually have success, right? And that was the theme that emerged from last season. I don't know how many times Scott said it after games last year that they just need something to go well in some of these games. So if Northwestern was a great confidence booster last year, as Scott said in that quote you played before we started the segment, I don't know if it'll be that kind of deal. I don't know if it'll be a 56-7 kind of feel, but any sort of comfortable victory is the kind of note that you want to start a season on, and that's why I say the players. I think the coaches stay pretty, or while I like the players, they care a ton about it, and it hurts them to lose all that stuff. But coaches are generally more even keel throughout the game than players. They don't. I don't think they depend on confidence as much as players do. So I think it's the players that need it.
What do you think is the most important development during camp?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think it would be the idea that the running backs are, I think, as Scott said yesterday, as deep and as talented as they've been in a long time. We knew that there was a talent influx coming into fall camp, right? But we didn't know exactly what to make of it. The spring game, I don't know if that told us much about anything. And so to hear them say that it's not just, I was wondering for a while, like, is this a close race because everyone's so good, or is it a close race because everyone's so close in talent? And it sounds to me that it's the former. And that's really good news, because that running back room has been a revolving door for a while now, and the run game has been, hit or miss, and it's been something where they have to beat up their quarterback to create advantages, to create yardage. And Scott mentioned yesterday, maybe that's the case a little bit as this offensive line figures itself out at the beginning of the year. But the running backs can help that line move along a lot quicker than it would otherwise. So I would say the running backs are the most promising development that I've heard.
All right, let me ask you something. Without having played a game, right? So you're getting the feel and you got your ear close to the ground. Is there a position group that, even though they haven't played a game, is not as good as you thought it was going to be August 23rd or 22nd or whatever today is?
I mean, I think I would say that the defensive backs seem it's less settled than maybe I thought it was going to be at this point. The comments that Fisher has made about the competition at safety, like not only did he say that it's ongoing, but I think that it was Sam who asked, what the two guys that we presume will be the starters in Miles Farmer and Marquise Buford have done to separate themselves. Fisher kind of pushed back on that. I still feel very confident that Nebraska's going to have a good secondary. He's going to defend the pass pretty well, particularly the deep pass. But I just think that there's wiggle room there for someone to, whether it's an Omar Brown or, a Sean Singleton later in the year. I still think there's wiggle room for someone else to jump in there that's not in there right now.
For me, it's wide receiver.
Okay.
Right? Like, I'm kind of unsettled on how I feel about the wide receiver room. I thought it was going to be a strength, and there were big numbers, and there's kind of this influx of talent. But now I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I do have a sleeper. I think that could be a guy like Alante Brown, but I don't know, like, if I feel as good today.
I feel similarly in that I'm really not sure who's going to be the number two. I was sort of defaulting to Omar Manning for much of the spring, summer, fall.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
I think Marcus Washington, Jimmy.
I think that's the name we've been hearing a lot more of recently, right? Marcus Washington, which is interesting because he got here later than most, right? And is that a situation where you can look at that two ways? Marcus Washington has this great rapport with Casey Thompson. They played together before, and he's done so well learning the playbook and played so well during practice that he couldn't be denied. That's the optimistic view, right? The other way to look at that is that no one else grabbed the spot. So we're giving it to Marcus Washington because he's the guy who has the chemistry with the quarterback, and he has learned the playbook well enough where, we think he's our best option. He's maybe the most talented guy that we could give that to. So I think that's a good point about the receivers. And the other thing about that group, I don't think you ever can feel too settled on, is just the guys that have been there, guys like Oliver Martin and Omar Manning, even a new guy like Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, they've all struggled with injuries. And it's hard to build a consistent rapport with a quarterback if you're not on the field consistently. So that's to your point, Damon. More unsteadiness at that spot.
What was there a care or concern? Me and Coach Frost addressed it. He said, "Hey, man, a lot of guys got votes. I kind of like the way that this shook out. With the 3 defense, only one offensive guy. Is there another guy that you see emerging as a leader, or is it a little bit of a foregone conclusion that it's not going to be a quarterback, considering he didn't go to Big Ten Media Days or voted as a captain?"
I mean, I like Ramir Johnson as that kind of guy who could be a leader.
He's an old soul, isn't he?
Yeah, old soul, been in the program for a while. A guy that they're raving about as a special teams guy. That's a thing that matters particularly on this team. A guy that's working with the receivers and the running backs. So he'll have, he talks to everybody, right? So that's a guy. I don't want to put too much stock in Casey not being named a captain or not going to Big Ten Media Days, because the quarterback is just always going to be a leader by default. You almost, you could argue that it's a waste of a captain spot to do that. But obviously, I think he would prefer to be a captain rather than not. And I think the reason why he wasn't, obviously he's new, and I think he's just like, he's a different cat, man. Like, he is type A plus.
Yes.
Plus. And I think it takes a while for guys to adjust to that. And I think if he wins, then they'll fall right in line behind him, and he will be a de facto captain, and everything will be good. If they struggle out of the gate, and he's part of the reason why, then that kind of stuff can grate people. But I wouldn't read too much into it right now. I think he's just, like I said, hadn't been here very long and is a little bit of a different dude. It's going to take them a while to get used to his style.
Do you describe Casey as a perfectionist, or is there another word, now that we've all gotten to know him a little bit more, to describe his personality, and maybe also, Jimmy, how that equates to what he'll be like on the field?
Like a super perfectionist. Like he's very, very detailed, and he's one of those guys that hears everything. I think he reads a lot of the stuff that's written about him, and so again, just a different guy. He wants to be aware of everything at all times, and I think he expects the same kind of drive out of the people around him. And for those kinds of people, like, you don't necessarily have to be like an alien, like a studying like super fiend to be a good football player.
Mm-hmm.
You want to, obviously you have to know all the plays, but you don't have to be able to, rattle off the way Casey was rattling off the Northwestern scouting report in 2 minutes yesterday. Like, that's impressive recall. That's the kind of thing that comes from hours and hours and hours of grinding tape and watching, studying the roster, all that sort of stuff. There's a separator there, right? And in a way that the quarterback does that in a way that maybe other positions don't do as completely. They've been maybe focused more on the specific position group that they're going to be playing against, right? And so I think those kinds of people expect the same types of behavior of the people around them. And that just is something that guys have to get used to sometimes.
Is there a case, as we kind of now narrow down your prediction for the upcoming season, is there a case in your book, yay or nay, for Nebraska to win more than 7.5?
Oh, for sure. Sure.
And that roadmap looks, and they get there because of what?
They get there because they don't shoot themselves in the foot. Like, I think 8 wins is, you can be a pretty unimpressive 8-win team this year. I really believe that, because I mean, you're basically beating the teams you need to beat, that you should definitely beat on the schedule. Let's count them off. That would be Northwestern. That would be Georgia Southern. That would be North Dakota. That would be Indiana. That would be Rutgers. And that would be Illinois, would be 6. And then you just got to get 2 against the teams that are at or slightly above your level. I don't know. Maybe Michigan would be a team that's that's 2 or 3 steps above where Nebraska is right now. But the rest of those teams are not entirely dissimilar talent-wise. So I think if there's so much to be said about just shoring up the cultural stuff that needed to be shored up, keeping the best wide receivers on the field consistently and helping them build practice habits that allow them to do so, getting consistency out of the running back spot. The offensive linemen have talked about knowing where their quarterback's going to be in the pocket consistently. Keep the sticks on schedule, keep your plays on schedule, get the ball out when it's supposed to be out. These are very simple things that are not extremely difficult to do, and they can make a big difference. Special teams goes from, worst, second worst, third worst in the nation to average. That's a huge jump. That's something that we all know could have turned 2 or 3 games last year. And this is a people, chafe at hearing this because it's a 3-9 team last year, but it is a significantly easier schedule. The path to 8 wins is not shooting yourself in the foot, building a healthy culture, and getting consistent production out of the skill positions that have talent but have not lived up to that talent so far under Frost. And then if the defense hovers around where it was last year, maybe there's even some slippage there because of the experienced leaders that they lost. I think you can get to 8 wins that way.
It's interesting. We had a call earlier, and they asked Sharpie and I. He asked Sharpie and I, what would be an indicator early, like, uh-oh. And it was weird because without Sharpie and I even talking about it, we picked opposite things. He said if Nebraska struggles to run the football early, that would be kind of a cause for concern. And I said if Nebraska couldn't stop the run early, that would be more of a cause for concern. Short of missing 2 extra points or, a 34-yard field goal, is there something that you'd look at early and say, uh-oh, here we go again?
Yeah, I think you guys both hit the nail. I think if we're running the quarterback, if Oklahoma comes around and they're still running the quarterback, I bet the quarterback runs it, whether it's Casey Thompson or somebody else, 10 plus times. That could happen the first few games, or at least the first game against Northwest. I don't think they shouldn't have any trouble pushing Georgia Southern and North Dakota around. But if that's still happening come Oklahoma or, Indiana, Rutgers, I would be concerned by that. And then if Northwestern is able to run the ball at a good clip against them, we know that's what they want to do. If they're able to get push against that defensive line, then yeah, that would raise an eyebrow for me because I don't think that outside of Skronsky, who is going to be a first rounder next year, I don't know there's an overly talented offensive line this year, and I don't know that those backs, they're big, they're physical, but I don't know that many people would rank them near the top of the Big Ten this year. So Northwestern is a team that they should be able to beat relatively comfortably. They should be able to hold the offense down. They should be able to stop that run game. They should be able to generate some sort of push on their end when they're running the ball. And if you can't do, that's why people are getting confused saying that this Northwestern game is some big. It's not a marquee matchup. It's just something that can tell us a lot about where the program is if it goes wrong. You should beat Northwestern pretty comfortably. You should be able to do all of the things that you want to do. You shouldn't have to adjust too much. If you are, that doesn't give us much confidence about what it's going to look like against Oklahoma and then down the road against Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin. That's where I'm at.
Hey, one final thing before they go, and I want to dabble with basketball for just a moment. Walk us through last week with Keontae Johnson. He was on a visit.
Yeah, wow.
It looked like it was going good, and then he commits to Kansas State. What happened in a span of about 72 hours with him in Nebraska?
Oh, it's so tricky, Gary. I think here's what I'll say. I think Nebraska thinks that Keontae Johnson was coming here. But I think that I was given I want to be careful with how I phrase it because I was given so many different, like sort of dancey explanations about why. I think if people read the story that we wrote and what's been written about that situation, I think you can deduce what happened there. I'll say that I think one generous interpretation of the situation would be that Nebraska didn't get to run as many tests on Keontae Johnson as it would have liked to feel comfortable about bringing him on. This is a dude who collapsed on the court in 2020 against Florida State. He has a heart condition. He's taken out, obviously, he's since committed to Kansas State. He has taken out an insurance. I think it's a $5 million insurance policy. If he plays less than 10 games, he gets that money. That's a pretty low played games threshold to take out. 10 games isn't that many games.
Yeah.
So that tells me, I think that tells us something too, right? I think you can read between the lines there and see what happened.
I need that deal.
Yeah. I was Kansas State is they are recruiting like a beast. No surprise with their head coach coming from Scott Drew's staff at Baylor.
We'll be seeing Keontae Johnson in Kansas City.
Yeah, that'll be the awkward part of it all. Jimmy, as always, we appreciate it. Enjoy game week.
The next time there won't be football is February, guys. Let's go.
How great does that sound? Be good, my man.
You do.
Thanks, Jimmy.
So for people who don't know, Johnson at Florida, SEC preseason player of the year, projected first round pick. Prior to that 2021 season, he collapsed on the floor. He has slowly worked his way back, wanted to go find a new destination. I thought, man, if Nebraska gets him before he goes to Memphis, then, he's not going to Memphis. Nebraska's got a chance. And that quickly the door got shut, and he ends up on Saturday announcing that he's going to Kansas State. If he's on the floor and he's back to where he was, then that's definitely a win. But I think, as Jimmy wrote in his story, due to his complex health history and the late timing of his visit, he won't be making NU his home. Does that make sense? I mean, you gotta protect yourself.
Yeah. Let's make a deal.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, we'll go through some emails and some tweets. Also, Jimmy said something about Casey Thompson being a perfectionist and reading things and listening. I've got an example of something that happened earlier in the offseason. We'll share that with you as we roll on. Last 30 minutes of Sharp and Betting in the morning on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on the crossover.
When you have the tin of popcorn, and it has the 4, the cheese, the white, the caramel.
Oh, you're bougie. You went 4. Usually it's 3.
Or is it 3? Okay.
Yeah.
But there's always one that's about 75% gone before any of the others are touched. Which one is it?
Caramel.
Cheese. Mine's caramel.
Oh, no. All 3 are garbage.
Whoa! Popcorn's snob.
Sharp and Betting in the morning. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone.
Traffic.
Right.
This wagon commute is killing me. You mind if I turn on your old radio?
Oh, this song again. I swear they play the same 3 chants on every station.
At this rate, it's going to take a fortnight to get to work.
Well, just be glad you don't need to fill up. I mean, have you seen the price of hay?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout history, people have always hated to commute. That's why Monster lets you search work from home jobs. Find your job at monster.com or download the app.
Bill Jones.
And Olivia.
Here again for Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe. Jones Bros is famous here at Omaha for catering delicious breakfasts and lunches for business meetings.
If I owned a business, I cater Jones Bros every day.
Sounds good to me, Olivia.
For breakfast, I cater French toast with warm syrup and croissant donuts. That'd be a good day at work.
Go with it, Olivia. Check out our website at jonesbroscupcakes.com for catering.
Jones Bros Cupcakes in Exarban Village.
Looking for a vehicle and you're thinking to yourself, gosh, something new to me would be great. How about, like certified pre-owned? Well, I got something for you. Find your next certified pre-owned vehicle at Woodhouse Ford of Omaha today. Woodhouse Ford of Omaha is now a Ford Blue Advantage dealer with over 100 certified pre-owned vehicles on their lot that are ready to test drive and take home. The Ford Blue Advantage program allows for peace of mind while shopping for or through their extensive inventory in-store or online. The program is packed with additional benefits for your new vehicle. Each vehicle must pass a multi-point inspection before entering the program. You can receive, comprehensive limited warranty coverage, money-back guarantees, and 24/7 roadside assistance. Plus, take advantage of the exclusive interest rate through certified pre-owned program. Stop by the dealership at 3633 North 72nd Street and shop the full lot of vehicles or view the inventory online anytime at WoodhouseFordOfOmaha.com. Ford Blue Advantage at Woodhouse Ford of Omaha. It's used car buying that's built for you.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Watch out for patchy dense fog during the morning drive Monday. Most fog should lift by around 9 a.m. Then sunny and warm conditions the rest of the day with a light southeast breeze. Highs around 87. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Make it a great fall season. Head to KuglerVision.com today to request a consultation.
At Dingman's Collision Center, you voted them first place in Best in Omaha for the past 17 years. So they want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and their incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, they'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Email Sharp and Benning on Equitable Bank inbox with your love, your hate, whatever your hot takes are. We're here for you. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Hi, everybody. Gary Sharp. If you've been in Nebraska for a while and you love going to sporting events and you're getting your hands on the best tickets, there's a good chance you bought them from Ticket Express. Well, I'm here to tell you that Ticket Express has a new name. It's Tickets for Less. So if you've loved the quality customer service and the community feel that Ticket Express has brought us over the past 3 decades, have no fear. Tickets for Less is going to be here with the same energy and the same selection. Ticketsforless.com. Always the best seats at the best prices to your favorite sporting events. And if you ever need anything, just give them a call. 402-398-1999 and tell them Gary sent you.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Hi, I'm Amanda Pete. Like all new parents, my husband and I want what's best for our baby. When it was time for our daughter's immunizations, we wanted the facts. So we carefully researched vaccines. We spoke with doctors and other experts and asked some tough questions. We decided that vaccines were the best thing for our child. I urge you to get the facts. Learn the facts about vaccines so you can make the best healthcare decisions for your family. Thank you.
A message from the American Academy of Pediatrics and vaccinateyourbaby.org.
Sharp and Benning in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app.
All right, welcome back in. Sharp and Betting in the morning, 1620 The Zone. Best story of the weekend, the pride of Utan. Leading tackler when he was playing high school football, went on to be more known in college as a left-handed pitcher under Darren Erstad. Nate Fisher.
Yeah. Wondering where you were going.
So he was in the Mariner organization, and then COVID came into play and didn't know where he was going. Said, I'm going to use my degree, and was working at FNBO. He was over there, and he was doing commercial lending stuff. And then got a call, time to go back and give it a go of playing professional baseball. He was pitching in AAA with the Mets, got called up yesterday, pitched 3 innings of scoreless relief against the Philadelphia Phillies. A year ago, he was listening to our show at FNBL, and yesterday he was in the show. That's the best story of the weekend. I don't care if you're a Husker fan, you live here, you know Nate, you watched him at Nebraska. That's a great story.
Mm-hmm.
He was working at the bank a year ago, and now he is pitching in the majors. And, he's on the roster for the start of the Subway Series between the Mets and the Yanks, and hopefully he sticks for a while and maybe gets a chance to pitch in the postseason.
Yeah, you went from what? Interest rates to usage rates.
Very good. And we used to have him on a lot. He was the ace of that staff. And he would come on like every other week. So it was great when I saw Jeff Passon's tweet that he was being called up. I'm like, yes, the guy was trying to decide if you were going to get a loan or not. And now he's in the majors. All right, 9:36 sharp betting in the morning. Chance here as well. Jimmy Watkins brought something up that I'm going to say this about Casey Thompson, but I wonder, with so much coverage of Nebraska football and everything that is going on, how many guys on that roster or even coaches are to the level of consuming content that is written about them or the program like Casey Thompson is? Casey Thompson is very, very aware of things that are written and said about him. I think he reads them. He might be a guy that searches his name on Twitter for the good or the bad. But remember, he just went through the fishbowl that is Austin. If you think that Jimmy was just blowing smoke, I'm going to give you an example. I won't give you the reporter, but he's a newspaper reporter that has done a couple of really good stories on Casey Thompson. Mm-hmm. One of the first stories that he wrote, because I don't think we really didn't get to know Casey Thompson during the spring. There were no like sit downs, and he was kind of quiet. But he would do media availability, but it wasn't like, hey, let's get to know you, outside of stuff that had been reported at Texas and with his dad and things like that. But one of the first stories that was written about him in the state, you found out as a reporter that Casey doesn't like say, oh, you misquoted me. He just is very, hey, maybe a word here or a descriptive word here would have been better for the story. Like, was critiquing that standpoint. But I don't know, is that a good or a bad thing that the quarterback at Nebraska likes to read about his team and himself and consumes that stuff? Because it can consume you if you do. I mean, Martinez didn't do that.
No.
I mean, he stopped that early. I think Adrian was like, wow, I remember him saying this as a freshman. Wow, we're in the paper and we're on the radio and we're on the TV all the time. I watched that stuff. And then someone got to him and said, don't.
Hey, so Chance, in those Scott Frost quotes, because there's a couple things that you can hear. Play the clip, Chance, clip 5, where Casey being 24 being meaningful.
Harder at 24 than I was at 18, and then I probably took a pause while I was in the NFL and didn't get much smarter until my 30s. But life experience and game experience matters, and you guys all know that. And we have a more mature team than we've had. Some of it's age, and some of it's just the character of the kids and the competitiveness of the kids. And we definitely have the most guys on the team that I trust this year that we've had.
Chance, skip all the way down to clip 16 in terms of, well, okay. So how does that factor in terms of confidence?
Right in the thick of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was clip 16?
Yeah.
What happened to clip 16?
That was his full answer.
Am I thinking to the second part of him being around the offense? Because I was looking for the kind of the been there, done that, the experience, and he strikes you as,
how is it manifested and why is it important?
Yes.
I'd say the biggest thing I would point to with experience is just lack of mistakes. Anytime you're a new player, there's more mistakes than somebody who's had experience. And a lot of quarterbacks played well in camp. I'd say Casey had the fewest turnovers, fewest buzz, fewest mistakes. I think experience is going to be even more important when you're going overseas to play in another country, a different environment. This isn't a home game. This is a completely different thing. And he's played a lot of college football, so I think the environment will be natural to him.
I've been there, done that, right? He was coming from Austin. A lot of articles written about Casey Thompson. A lot of articles written about Casey Thompson. So I think for him to say, hey, listen, a reporter X, it can come across as a little like, man, rabbit ears. But I think with him, I wouldn't always say this with everybody.
Yeah.
I think with him, it more goes into the fact
I'd say
he's kind of a perfectionist. He's a little OCD when it comes to that stuff. Right? He's always prepared. He always tries to be prepared for every scenario. Like wherever he is, what are his surroundings, who's in the room, who's not in the room. Like he's very aware of that. He's polished, to say the least.
Do you think that comes with he's been in the spotlight since he was a little kid?
Probably.
Because of dad?
Yeah, he's been through it a lot, right? I mean, and for a long time. It's not just dad, his brother too. Right? I mean, he's been around.
I mean, it's one of the rare times that I can recall that I think Nebraska has, and we're not talking about this on-field stuff, but off the field, you have a professional quarterback.
Yeah, very buttoned up.
I mean, Nebraska will play a game. They will play against Indiana on October 1st, and that Monday, Casey Thompson will be front of the media talking, and he will be 24 years old. But you have to lean into that if you're Nebraska. We have a quarterback that's 24 years old that has now played at Texas and Nebraska. I mean, two of the most high-profile programs in America that have all kinds of microphones and cameras and recorders in front of the quarterback. You have to lean into that he's got some tread on the tires in terms of how to deal with all the fishbowl. And I know, just as we've gotten to know him, I don't think he's a guy that you would say, man, I dislike that dude. But he would probably be a guy that revs a little bit high and rubs people differently. But you both want the same thing. We both want to get to the end result, and that is to win. But we're going to go at it a different way. And so maybe we maybe butt some heads earlier. But if you're playing well,
potentially.
But if you're playing well, if you're QB1 and you're making plays, you know what that is.
Yeah.
You can tell me whatever you want.
I go back to the comment of how he answered the scouting report, and it's just like that's what you want in a quarterback. And I think he's comfortable enough with the media because of his experience. I don't think he cares if it's over our heads or too techie or too football-y. That's how he's been groomed to talk as a quarterback. It sounded very script-like, right? Like,
yeah,
he's reading you the scouting report. I think that's how he feels is safe to talk. It's not his opinion. He's giving you the facts of what the scouting report says, and he's not leaving anything open to interpretation. Like, you can't pick that apart. Now, we happen to take it and like gush over it, but he talks like that for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. Listen, they place him too high. They occasionally roll into one. They got a safety that is transferred to Notre Dame, I think. I mean, come on, man. Two new guys back there. Play mostly some 4-man. Like, there's not much you can do with that because that's pretty much who Northwestern is. But it more typifies who he is than what we glean from it. It's how he would prefer to talk to us because you can't. It has to be the way that he presented it.
Here is Lance. Good morning, Lance.
Hey, guys. One of these days I'm going to call in and we're going to get a full-on discussion about the future of college football and pay-for-play. But for today, let's talk about Casey Thompson. I actually really like that he is who he is and mature as at that level. I mean, yesterday he was talking about a guy in their secondary, and I think it was number 11 is what he said, and he ran a 10-600. I think when we look back at the last 4 years, some of those times in crucial moments when you needed someone to be calm and know what was going on, it looked like we were running a fire drill and we had no idea. I don't know if that will translate into success, but at least I know the guy that's going to be making those decisions is well prepared. And I think when you look at the best that play that position, that is how those people need to be.
Yeah.
And I feel pretty good knowing that it prepares that way. Who knows if it will be a success, but I'm liking what I'm hearing when I hear him talk.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I usually don't even
Thanks,
get
Lance,
it.
for the call.
I usually don't even get into that aspect of it, but he's looking at, well, I mean, he's pretty mature too, but see, that's further than what a normal fan would be thinking in terms of depth. It's all about the preparation.
Mhm.
It doesn't guarantee success, but you give yourself the best chance to be successful if you are prepared. He sounds like a guy that is extremely prepared. You know that fits right in line with his personality, whether he's at campus, at someone's house. He knows exactly where he is and what his surroundings are because he's always prepared. There's some people that compare him almost to like a politician, right? Where
Yeah. A little bit robotic.
A little. I told you he's almost neurotic when it comes to like the first to leave, the first to be there, the last to leave.
Mhm.
Like where you almost want to say sometimes, hey man, it's okay to rest here for a little bit, right? These guys have been going for 45 minutes.
If you can get the first 6 games you got last year in Austin out of him, 14 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions, everybody would
And
take
sometimes, you know, it doesn't always endear yourself to those teammates because especially if, you know, a rising tide doesn't lift all boats, people could look at him and be like, oh man, this guy's just trying to be different, or look at Mr. such and such, you know. But hopefully with this team, that's where they elevate the course of being prepared.
He is unlike any other quarterback that Nebraska has had in a while.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then there's the part,
and when you're not, it doesn't have anything to do with talent.
No,
you're just talking about how he approaches the position.
And because I can't recall really a fall camp where you've gone this far. You don't hear anybody say anything negative about him, but you don't hear like offensive linemen gushing.
Yeah, I agree.
It just is a little bit different. When the past last year, a lot of the offensive linemen, they had a great relationship with Adrian. They gushed over him. Offensive linemen aren't really much talking about the quarterback. They aren't even, they're not saying, hey, we're struggling there or anything like that. They're just not talking about him. It's unlike Casey Thompson is unlike any other player in the last 10 years or so that's played quarterback in Nebraska. He's a professional quarterback playing in college, trying to get to the pros and use Nebraska. And then he's not alone. There's other guys that are on this roster that they're here because of a business decision. Because they realize that if they help Nebraska win, I mean, look at if you're Casey Thompson and you help Nebraska win, what doors that opens up for you. You're the guy, and you've been a winner. It's just a different type of person. That then when you get to Saturday, how does that incorporate 10 other guys that you're around with, and your ability to make plays and to be clutch and not to have the Adrian Wart, where if you're going to turn the ball over, don't turn it over. But if you turn it over, when is the timing of the turnover? And when we get late in the game, can you make plays? Can you make plays to win a football game late in the game? Like the experiment.
Won't take us very long to see.
All right, quick break. We'll come back. We'll put a wrap on this show, and then we'll be a day closer to the start of the season. By the time that we reconvene tomorrow, Nebraska will be in Ireland, right? They should have landed by the time we're on tomorrow.
Yeah.
6-hour time difference. All right, Sharp and Betting in the Morning with Chance at 1620 The Zone.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
FanDuel wants you to be ready for game day when college football kicks off this week. Yeah, it's here. Right now, new customers can get up to $150 in free bets guaranteed for week one. Just place a $5 bet, and you can get $150 in free bets, Damon, win or lose.
Yep, you got to get to the FanDuel Sportsbook app, enter the promo code ZONE, and have the fun begin. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Maybe you like Nebraska laying at 13. Maybe you're thinking, ooh, I smell a dog, and you like Northwestern. The FanDuel Sportsbook app and FanDuel, they've got you covered.
I like the national championship futures. Hello, Ohio State. How are you doing? Perfect time to join FanDuel. Give it a shot. The app, we have it. It's so easy to use, and they're always hooking up with great odds. And when you win, you're going to get paid just like that. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. As Damon alluded to, download the app, use our promo code ZONE, and place a $5 bet to get $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off the college football season. 21 over, present Iowa. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Many have tried to duplicate. They just can't replicate what 42 degrees is doing. A lot of great locations. One just going up by the new place off of Center Street. And you know what? Always clean, always friendly, but the real difference, really knowledgeable. There's a lot going on in there. And regardless of what you're looking for, you got to be willing to ask the questions. With me, in particular, the fine folks at 42 degrees, the training that they have on all the products that kind of give them the knowledge base, from strength levels to comfort level to absorption rate to tests. 42 degrees is in the know. That's why I just call them the go-to source. The sizes are so easy that I can just throw them right in the gym bag and keep it moving. So do yourselves a favor, stop on in, talk to the staff, let them know what you're looking for, and get yourself a free sample. That's all you really need to do. Try it for free. A lot of great locations right by your mom's house. It's 42 degrees.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you have to drive 300 miles to your cousin's wedding. Okay, so it's his fourth. But you know what they say, fourth time's the charm. Well, here's the problem. Your tires are as bald as I am. But lucky for you, eBay Motors has tires for just about every make and model. Plus wheels, lug nuts, jack stands, and more. 122 million parts. Do they have tissues? Oh, good, because I'm definitely a crier. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Doing the most good is a team effort. So the Salvation Army wants to thank everyone who supported this year's back-to-school backpack drive. All the school supplies you donated made a huge difference. We're especially grateful to KETV, Methodist Health System, Metro Credit Union, Cubby's Convenience Stores, and Firefighters on the Move for making the 2022 drive possible. Now, thanks to you, thousands of students are going back to school prepared. The Salvation Army, doing the most good right here in the Metro.
You can join us every week for the Sharp and Betting podcast. It's Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by our good friends at Woodhouse Auto Family.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is we'll get more in depth on a lot of your favorite topics, have a guest or two, and just might drop some nuggets of information that you've never heard before.
Wherever you get your podcasts, just look for Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family each Friday. You can find it on the Sharp and Betting show page on 1620thezone.com. It's Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast.
Marvin Windows has long been known for their lasting value and beauty. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is Omaha's first authorized Marvin Windows replacement contractor. For a free estimate, call Carp's Complete Home Exteriors or visit carpsomaha.com.
Nebraska football has felt cursed these last couple decades.
That's a huge upset. 62 points. Nebraska will have to look elsewhere for the man to replace Frank Solich.
But you can help to break the curse. August 25th at Haymarket Park with KLIN and 1620 The Zone. All ages are invited to this free event that will feature food, drinks, music from the Killigans, and of course, curse breaking. Join us Thursday as we break the curse. Sharp betting in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app.
What a great surprise.
Fantastic. He said, my man.
You came back from the lobby. You said, I think George Norwood just walked in. I was like, what? I was just talking to George.
Yeah, my back was to the door because I was getting ready to come in, but he has a very distinct voice.
So a former producer here was with me on the middays, George Norwood, who moved back home to Chicago and is doing really, really well. Just
took him 60 seconds to get into Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
WNBA talk.
Yeah, we're talking about the Chicago Sky. He stopped by the studio, so that's a good thing to see on a Monday. It is game week. We will have much more different angles, discussion. Maybe someone will talk about Northwestern tomorrow.
It's been so quiet. So quiet. I don't know if, it is few and far between who cover Northwestern, but I mean, Fitty hasn't given us much at all.
No, they've had 1 day of media availability in Evanston.
That's it?
Yep.
It's got to be. Maybe we just didn't know.
I mean, the Chicago Tribune, I don't think has a full-time guy covering Northwestern. The Sun-Times probably doesn't. Louis like really the only guy. The actual paper that covers them the best is their own school newspaper and that great journalism school that they have.
Well, that's who we need to hit.
Yeah.
Let's stalk them.
But I mean, they think they've maxed out at 3,000 Northwestern fans will be over in Ireland. But you run into somebody new every day that goes, oh, yeah, I'm going to Ireland. I'll be there. I'll be sending you pictures. So we will see. We'll talk more about that coming up tomorrow as we're a day closer to the start of the season. Thanks, everybody that joined us today. Scott Shanley, Jimmy Watkins, all the callers. It's game week. Say that out loud. It's game week. And when we reconvene tomorrow morning, it'll be 4 days away from the most interesting team in all of college football playing.
That's not true.
How
I
is
mean,
it- how is it
Nebraska's
not?
playing, but they're not the most interesting team in college football.
How is it not?
There's a 16-point underdog team playing Ohio State in the opener. It's pretty interesting.
For Damon, for Chance, I'm Gary. We're back again tomorrow at 6. Sharp betting in the morning. Zone.
Summer is here, and if you have a gotta get it done this year project, trust the official exterior experts of the Huskies.